Hello, I'm the Kimmer, and here's the news. Donald Trump arriving for his third indictment.
All right,
we'll have details
we get it.
of his arrival for the indictment hearing.
Knock it
also,
off.
In Washington today.
Knock it off.
Yeah, you bastards. You were talking too fast. Nobody can understand anything. It's like you're on cocaine all of a sudden.
There's Kimmer yesterday. Hey, hello, everybody. This is the Kimmer Show. How you doing? We're going to talk about Trump, and we're talking about Amanda. We're going to talk about...
Well, it was just a thing. My God, okay. Man. Well, anyway, it's only us, and it's only me. It's only the Kimmer. And with Pete Flounder and stuff, and all they have to say is Saturday. There you go. Now we're back to normal. All right, I'll do better. My God. Everybody's hosing the Kimmer. They're turning on me, Bobby. They're turning on me.
Take
and who's this Bobby?
Take a breath.
I can't breathe now. I can't do anything now. The last one sucked all the goodness out of me. I got nothing left in there. Oh, sorry. I don't even know what that means. Why am I playing with this dial? God, and look, I'm disgusting in every way. We got so much stuff today.
We do.
First of all, this is our last day this week. We're off for a few days. Before we get into that, we exciting announcement about our fill-in host guest guy we know. First of all, it's only me. It's only the Kimmer, as you know. And now I'm starting to speed up my speech pattern there, wasn't I? Just now?
That's fine. It's just you didn't take a breath for 20 minutes yesterday.
All right.
So it frightened us.
All right, then.
You should have seen him on the break. He passed out twice.
No, I was just diving down out of sight for a good reason. Anyway, I don't want people to be able to see through the way. And with Pete Davis, sidekick, producer, and sports raconteur extraordinaire. Your Holy Crap at Sports podcast later this week, maybe? Or are you...
I will probably do one...
over the weekend,
tomorrow morning.
Maybe Friday?
Tomorrow morning.
All right, and again, and Flounder, our mechanical magnet thing. And I think now is new Nick's there. I think we saw new Nick. Joe's not here today, right?
Joe
Morning,
is
Joe.
helping out across the street.
And Mike helped out also earlier. Mike, our crackhead engineer. Well, he's not a crackhead, but, you know. Anyway, Flounder, now, you're going to be gone for a couple of days. And actually, the reason that we all are going to be gone here a little bit is because, now, I hate this stupid, anyway, is because it's time for you and Miss Veronica
headed to the beach
to take a little break and just kind of, you know, maybe move forward a little bit on the
beach.
Could this be like maybe an engagement or something maybe coming up?
No, we're headed to the beach.
Oh, sorry. So he shut that down real fast, didn't he? I love to tease him.
You're going to destroy their relationship.
No, here's these freaking new guys. I wish he's 42 of them. They don't even know how to romance a girl. So I'm saying, you know, you bring her a little flower, you put it on her dashboard when she shows. Oh, that's so sweet. No, we'll get there when we're going. I don't have to talk to her if I don't feel like it in the car. And go, sorry. You know, geez, he's no guy.
Say that.
I don't remember.
She's listening, so.
Well, I hope she's listening because we have something special coming up, which will feature her young star-crossed lover. Boys. By the way, we got Trump talk, we got Bill Maher talk, we got people talking about
two-timing Flounder.
No. We got a million like newsy things here. CNN gets calling Donald Trump Osama bin Laden. I mean, all kinds of great stuff. But last night, 2:00 this morning, I couldn't believe it. As you know, people who used to listen to us on the radio years ago or did the podcast, I used to do what we called the Kimmer's Rainy Day Theater Playhouse. And it was kind of a little joke thing I used to do. And we'd come up with a little script of some kind. But I haven't done it in a long time, and I kind of stopped doing it because I don't think anybody really cared about it. And all of a sudden, last night, I bolted out of bed. It's like 2:15 in the morning, this morning, and I bolt out of bed and I said, "Oh my God! I just came up with I just had a great idea for a theme, for a story, for a Rainy Day Theater." So we're going to do one in the next short while. And I hope you enjoy it because, I mean, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, my God, it was like I wrote it in my head. I just sat down and I typed it all like a boom, bam, like it just came to me. It was unbelievable. Anyway, so that's coming up to us now, too. Also, let's see what else we got here.
It's going to be funny?
Well, I'm hoping... But we'll see, and we'll have the Rainy Day players here. We'll give you your script, and everything will be fine.
All right.
Also... Oh, can I do one quick, like a personal thing? If I could,
doesn't have anything to do with driving.
No. Well, actually, I can't. I'm not making this up. Another route today. I can't. I'm not kidding you with this.
We had a guy yesterday say, "You need to get a limo that drives you back and forth. That will free you up from talking about anything else."
I love this ways, and it took me through what I thought was a construction site. But I can't believe every day is a new route. Anyway, I'm sorry. A quick thing, because I want to help out our doggy community, and I know we used to be able to. Do you still post a doggy thing at Atlanta Humane Society?
I post dog stuff on Facebook. I see a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, for the record, Pete did this religiously, and I just got word today that if you would like to adopt a larger dog from animal shelters in Fulton and DeKalb counties, it's free this month. Cats, the same fee waiver on the last weekend of this month. It's called Lifeline Animal Project. Operates shelters in both counties, Fulton and DeKalb. Larger dogs weighing 25 pounds or more, no fee to adopt them. Same for all cats on the weekend of the 25th through the 28th. And it's and Petco stores will be hosting adoptable dogs as well on the 26th. Anyway, so if you're looking for a doggy, adopting is the best thing. And larger dogs need home. And I love large. As you know, I'm a bull mastiff guy. Oh, in fact, they remind me. You want to talk about that or not? Here's our phone. Oh, no, I'm speeding up again, aren't I?
That's all right.
Here's our phone number, because maybe you want to join us on a couple things.
I have the blow darts ready. So
this is our Friday. By the way, what was in Pete? Yesterday we kept trying to remember. Pete Davis said, I was talking about something on and on and on. Pete Stevens said, I swear to God, if you say one more word, I'm going to come down there and stab you in the eye. I'm going to come down there, because he was so fed up with what I was doing. And we tried to remember what the hell was it. We can't remember. No. Anyway, here's the phone number, because we want to ask your advice about things and see whether you agree or not with what's coming up. 404-741-1230, 741-1230. Among other things, Flounder, we were listening to their show right before us, the boys, and Flounder came in and asked the question, would you ever stop wearing jeans if there was an alternative, other than wearing the jeans? And I said, well, I'm not going to wear sweatpants to work or something like that. Now, what about you? You were a jeans guy?
I liked, even though I went for like 3 or 4 years without wearing jeans, which was kind of weird. But no, I love jeans, especially in winter.
Yeah. Flounder, you're a jeans guy, right?
I've always been a very casual dresser, so jeans have always been a part of my...
Now, the new thing, the ads pop up on my phone once in a while, is for the new, they look like blue jeans, look like denim blue jeans, but they're not. They're much softer and flexible.
Yeah, because I guess with the denim, they put some spandex in them, so it makes it more stretchable and a little more...
and they look like they fall...
Fit comfortable.
Yeah, anyway. And the other question you asked me was whether you ever wear shorts to work. I wore shorts to work every day for years.
Frightening.
Years. Although I don't wear them anymore, because nobody needs to see these old babies. I used to run 12 miles a day.
Did you used to have a trainer named
Mackie Shillstone, who trained the heavyweight champion of the world, and I was his first guinea pig, and he got me down to like 4% body fat, and I could run a marathon on 6 days
I will come
training.
Over there and stab you in the eye.
That was it.
By the way, Blaine, when you started talking about your driving course again, he says, it almost makes me wish to hear him talk about his teeth again.
Hey, I've been good about that, mister.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, so I just want to pass along the doggy thing. And also paying for dates, we'll talk about that a little bit, a couple of stuff. I had a dream last night about a girl. First time I've had a girl dream, and I can't remember. Whatever.
Is it usually boys? I love a young boy.
No, usually it's me being chased by somebody with a gun. So, I don't even know what I'm doing. Here we go again. Handshaking the boy's hand.
Young boys.
Oh my God! Now see, I've blown the whole segment. It's not even my fault.
Tell the important stuff you're going to get to.
Okay, we're good. The New York Times writer has finally come to see the light and saying, "You idiots and your elitism are the reason things like this are happening."
Trump,
and you're as far as Donald Trump's concerned, and you're going to hear Bill Maher saying, "Stop your you're posturing. You're full of crap. You liberal idiots on the border and all this other kind of stuff. You'll hear them talking about it. You'll hear Donald Trump himself, too. Coming also, the CNN comparing Donald Trump to Osama bin Laden. And just, he was self-pleasuring when he was talking about Trump being indicted. Unbelievable. Also, the swimming star in Australia, sick and tired of us loser Americans. Oh, excuse me.
They wouldn't exist without the U.S. Navy.
Yeah, well, it was a penal colony, for God's sakes. Anyway, 3:13. And Rainy Day Theater Playhouse. I hope you like it, boys. It just came to me like it was written in my head. I just, boom, poured it out this morning. I couldn't believe it. All right, coming up next, 3:13 with the Kimber P. Flounder, New Nick on 106.3. Look out. AC/DC. The Baileys. Take you. I don't want to run. I don't know what he.
Never heard this song before.
Something about a spine, kill your spine. I have no idea. Now, you don't know what he's singing. I bet even New Nick has no freaking idea what he's saying. New Nick, you have any idea what he's saying right now? Any word? Give me 4 words in a row. Why? I can't hear him.
I can't really understand what he's saying.
Well, yeah, and of course they're making $10 million an hour, and we're sitting here with you guys.
He's Australian. Do you really care what he has to say?
I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, you said it's AC/DC. My God, man, they're making $47,000 every 4 seconds by going on the radio or something, and saying words that make no sense, no one can understand, screaming into a microphone with large beats. I love it.
I've heard this song now. They did the chorus. Yeah.
Who made who?
Who made who?
How can you tell the chorus? I swear to God.
He starts singing Who Made Who? Who Made Who?
Oh, there you go. But that's why you can tell. If they say it twice in a row, I guess you can figure it out. Anyway, I kid, I joke. Former AC/DC drummer Phil Rudd pleaded not guilty on this day in 2015 to breaching the conditions of his current home detention by getting drunk. He was under house arrest since being sentenced for drug possession and making threats to kill somebody. In 2015, the 61-year-old then could face further sanctions, including going to jail if the judge said you were bad. Well, so he threatened to kill a guy and just said, "Don't do that again, mister. And no drinking in your home." My God. Well, he's a superstar. All right, now a couple of birthday things here. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, tomorrow we got our fill-in host, Shannon Burke. Why did my voice go like that? Shannon Burke. Shannon Burke. Anyway, it's a Kimmer Pete flounder in New Nick back there. Shannon Burke used to work with him years ago before they fired everybody and sold out and everything. And Shannon Burke's been doing his show down in Florida, kicking butt, and he's a monster talent, great guy. We had so much. We really had a great team. We really, really had a great team. Anyway, so he'll be filling in for us for about 4 days, for tomorrow and a few days next week. And you'll if you have never heard him, you'll love it. He's a great guy.
He's a cross between you and Neil Bortz.
Yeah, I mean he's a great host. You'll like him.
The first time I ever saw him walking down the hallway, he's got his big neck tattoo.
You know what I called him?
Yeah,
I remember.
Tell everybody.
I called him one of two things. I called him penitentiary face the first time, and death row.
I remember walking past that. Like, he's the guy.
Yeah, and he's got neck tattoos and a beard and like a goatee thing.
Oh,
and he's a big, strong guy. I mean, it was just, he looks like a monster. He looks like a like a gangbanger, and he's a Harley guy. He rides his Harley all over the place, and I mean, he's a real character, but he's a great host. You'll like him. He's a real patriot, and
he's a fireworks enthusiast, as we found out.
That's right, and he's well, we almost blew up his neighborhood on New Year's Eve that time.
The cops came.
The cops. Well,
don't let the cops in. Don't let the cops in.
Well, we're all. It was like 4 of us, including a couple guys who were still in the air, or whatever, and we were all at Shannon Burke's house, and we were setting off fireworks. And they were a little loud out in the back deck, and our reports, and all of a sudden, they're exploding in the air. And somebody called the cops, and the cops showed up, and I said, "Don't let him in! Do not let that cop in!" We all went outside. "Oh, yes, sir, officer. We're going to stop that right now. We have no. There's nothing in there. No, you don't need really. There's no fireworks in there or anything kind."
Send Pete out. He's the only sober one here.
He's the only non-drinker. Oh my God! But anyway, Shannon Burke tomorrow and for a few days next week. You'll like him. You'll really
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yep, he's a great guy.
And Friday.
What?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow.
So tomorrow.
Don't be a dick.
A couple of this was Tony Bennett's 97th birthday. If he had lived, it would have been 97 today. And a couple of old timers, Martha Stewart, 82 years old today. And Martin Sheen, West Wing, Badlands, Apocalypse Now, Gandhi, Wall Street, Gettysburg.
Screaming liberal.
Screaming.
But good actor.
Very good actor. Martin Sheen, 83 years old. And, Apocalypse Now, I don't think he's ever done really a bad role.
The Dead Zone.
What was the one with his kid where he played the Union guy?
Huh?
Charlie Sheen and Martin Sheen together, and he was the old man who owned the Blue Star Company, the union guy.
No idea what you're talking about.
Oh, my God. The guy where he said, greed is good.
Wall Street.
Wall Street. They don't even have that in here. Oh, my God. They do not include the credits of Wall Street in Martin Sheen's birthday.
Really? He did so many really good movies.
I think they've made a mistake. Not that I care. And one more thing. Okay. If you listen to our morning team from 6 to 10, which I do every day, every morning, I only miss them if I'm in the shower or whatever, but I listen for all 4 hours. And they are, I wanted to, they're very concerned with me and my history list of things that Flounder and I both come up with every single day. And they got something, I think it was, I don't know if it was Tug or Los, I can't remember, one of them, got it very wrong this morning. They made a mistake on their history list. They were trying to tease a Kimmer saying that I'll get this wrong today. They said on this day in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. He set sail for Spain with his 3 ships, Nina, Pinta, Santa Maria, but he actually discovered America by mistake. But they said in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. How many kids get that wrong every year? Mm-hmm. It's in 1493, Columbus sailed the deep blue sea. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, come on, people. We forgive the morning team that they've been taught this all their lives. It's public education.
It happens.
It could happen. All right, now, we're going to do a Rainy Day Theater Playhouse shortly. Again, a burst of something. I woke up, jumped out of bed, 2:15 this morning, and said, oh, my God, it's like the script is written for me in my head. I just went down, bing, bang, boom, typed it out, so we're going to do that in a few minutes.
Should we do it now?
No, but let's do it. Let's do it at 3:35. Right, we'll do it over the next short break. I want to get to some newsy stuff because our producer Pete Davis has got a little hair across my face about me not getting to the freaking topics.
It'd be nice.
So I got a topic right here. We'll do several topics, in fact, and I think you'll enjoy them.
All right.
I'm feeling it more like Friday, so we're skipping around. But here's a topic. There's a guy, a New York Times columnist named David Brooks, who is an anti-Trump. He's a hater. He's a Trump hater, absolutely. And he is now shocking political commentators and observers on Twitter and elsewhere in social media when he admits that the so-called elite of this country are using self-serving tactics to maintain power and a sense of moral superiority over the Trump supporters whom they detest. He says, I ask you to try on a vantage point in which we anti-Trumpers are not the eternal good guys. In fact, we're the bad guys. Over the last decades, we've taken over whole professions and locked everybody else out. He says, imagine the forces of progress and enlightenment to appease your own ego. He points out that in the media world, there was once a working class. Boy, this is an excellent point. In the media world, it was once a working class profession. Ivy League and other elite level college grads have come to dominate major newsrooms. I'm telling you, when I was growing up as a kid back in the 50s, my best friend was Garvin O'Melia. His father was the overnight managing editor of the local newspaper. And I'm telling you, they barely made enough money to escape. I mean, the profession back then, Garvin taught me how to smoke. I had my first Lucky Strike. He taught me how to inhale when I was 11. Anyway, his dad was a newspaper man, and we all knew, they were some of the poorest people in the neighborhood. Nobody made any money in the media back then. Especially in the newspaper business. He says, I began my career in Chicago in the 80s. There were still old, crusty, working-class guys around the newsroom. Now we're not only a college-dominated profession, we're an elite college-dominated profession. He says, the liberal elite segregate ourselves into a few booming metro areas like San Francisco and D.C. The educated class dominates, extending to politics on a national level. Armed with all kinds of economic, cultural, and political power, we support policies that help ourselves. We built an entire social order that sorts and excludes people on the basis of the quality that we possess most. Academic achievement. Highly educated parents go to elite schools, marry each other, work at high-paying professional jobs, pour enormous resources into our children, who get into the same elite schools, marry each other, pass along their exclusive class privileges from generation to generation. I love this line, too. He says, the same group has increasingly used buzzy language like, quote, problematic, cisgender. When's the last time you ever used problematic, other than a few years ago? Problematic, cisgender, Latinx, to alienate the less educated class and further divide us. He hates Donald Trump. He says he's calling for his imprisonment. But he says it makes sense. Working class Americans flock to a candidate who's waging war on the establishment that's only out for itself. And they think Donald Trump's a monster, and the elites correctly identify him as a monster, but it's easy to understand why people less educated would conclude that they're under economic, political, cultural assault, and why they're rallying around Donald Trump as their best warrior against the educated class. That's a Trump-hating elite liberal. And he knows what he's talking about. There are screenshots of his claims that Trump understood there was a great demand for a leader who would stick his thumb in the eyes of the liberal elite on a daily basis. We condemn the Trumpian populace all day long until the cows come home. But the real question is, when will we stop behaving in ways that make Trumpism inevitable? Read this, my anti-Trump friends. Anyway, that's the New York Times guy.
To point out what he's doing, there's a guy named Will Stansel. He's one of these Ivy Leaguer, rich silver spoon guys. And he goes, Biden is a good president and the economy is great. But the evidence suggests that people think Biden is a bad president and the economy is bad. This raises the question of where people get their ideas about politics. It sure is an objective observation. To which Glenn Greenwald, the liberal journalist, said, I continue to believe it's bad strategy for Dems to send out wealthy, educated libs to tell Americans that they only believe they're economically struggling because they're dumb and confused, and instead they should be grateful for how good they have it.
Finally, maybe the worm's turning. We'll see. 3:20, almost 3:30. Let's go here with the Kemmer Pete Flounder and New Nick. Wait, Rainy Day Theater's coming up.
No!
No! Right then.
Oh, no!
very catching beat. Look, I'm dancing. Da-da-hum-da, Stevie Wonder. By 2012, they confirmed the singer had filed for his divorce. Uh-oh, look out. I thought he started singing there.
He ain't going to sing.
He's not going to sing for a very long time. Anyway, the legal procedure, the girl's name is Kai. It was initiated under his given name, Stevland Morris. That Stevie Wonder is Stevland, Stevland Morris. His first marriage was to Cyrita, ended in 1972. And then he did the other one area with the thing, 2012. Okay, dokie. Well, it was 40 years. Oh, between them. All right, hold on. Now I got to do my birthday. Let's see. The very lovely Evangeline Lilly.
Oh, yeah.
Kate on Lost.
The Wasp.
The elf Toriel in the Hobbit movies. And the Wasp in the Ant-Man movies. Either I've never seen the Hobbit or the Ant-Man movies.
She's cute as an elf.
She's a doll. I mean, she's beautiful.
She's a perfect elf. She looks like an elf.
Well, that's what I thought about somebody once too. Anyway, how'd that work out? She killed me, I tell you. She killed me.
Not everything.
I know. All right,
goes back
leave
to
me
her.
alone. I might have to go back to her eventually because I'm...
We've all had breakups, Joe.
Shut up. Leave me
We've all
alone.
lost somebody.
Climb off my back.
Move on.
On this day,
We've all had our hearts
shut up.
broken.
In 1981, I remember covering this story at Chicago's the busiest airport in the world at the time, Chicago's O'Hare Airport in 1981. 13,000 air traffic controllers walked off the job demanding better pay. President Reagan warned him, he said, I'm not dicking around with you guys. You walk, you're fired. They walk, they fired.
That's what he said. It's a direct quote. I'm not dicking around with you guys.
And it was the ball game. And I remember saying, oh my God, what are they going to do now? And it came out fine. What?
Oh, this is bad.
What happened?
Wait a minute. Okay, here we go. This is bad. Jason says about Stevie Wonder's divorce, he never saw it coming.
I think I was going to say the same thing.
She blindsided
He's not blind.
She blindsided him with it.
Yeah, I know.
Frank says they didn't see eye to eye, and as Flounder says, supposedly he's not blind.
No.
That he looks at good-looking women when they walk by.
Yeah, you can see their boo. First, he's a leg man. It starts down and goes up. We've seen him every time.
Really?
I was going to say, you may never saw that coming, but then I thought better of it. But luckily, we have the kind of people
You're a better man
who are
than
there to
Jason
help
is.
us out with that. All right, 3:36. All right, hold on. We're going to hear Bill Maher here in a second talking about idiot left people.
Oh, is that Trump's lawyer?
Oh, that's a hottie.
Oh, and she's showing cleavage too.
Yeah. She's wearing a purple dress
She's
with lots
beautiful.
of boob. Lots of boob.
Alina Hubba.
She's a hottie.
Hubba. Alina Hubba, that's the name.
I mean, really, her boobs are. I mean, she's right, and she looks like a model. She looks like she's a knockout. She has high cheekbones.
Hey, it worked for Nancy Grace all those years.
That's right. And I remember talking to her about that. Remember I tell you that story when I was on jury duty, and down at Fulton County Courthouse years ago as a jury foreman, and we were. I took a break for lunch, and your jury passed, so everybody leaves you alone. Went to the counter, whatever the nearby diner was. Everybody went to. And there were a bunch of lawyers. It was all lawyers, taking a lunch break from court. And there were 2 or 3 lawyers next to me on the little stools at the little diner counter. And they were saying, oh, that damn Nancy Grace, she just throws her boobs all the time. And the jurors are all looking. The guys are going, man, what a hot... And they were talking the whole time about her leaning over to the jury when she says, oh, take a look at this evidence, juror number 4. And wham, the big knockers are still bong, ding, wang, pow. And they were all complaining about it. And I actually talked to her. In fact, as I recall... I mentioned that when I got back on the air, and I talked to her, and she called in, and we talked to her, and I said, no, I know you purposely, occasionally will use your feminine charms, and she laughed and denied it. But anyway, she was really great about it. Yep. But they were all talking about her knockers, and that was, the whole thing all day, all lunch. That's all they were talking about was hating Nancy.
Some people say, she's hard to deal with something. I've dealt with her on 3 or 4 occasions, and she could have been more pleasant each time.
Well, I think she's a very demanding. She's a very high energy, very professional, demanding, successful woman. But I think I've never had anything but nice Right, everything with him. Now, I've never worked for her, so I don't know, but clearly, anyway, I thought that was funny. So anyway, we'll talk Bill Moore on liberals and stuff. Also, the CNN guy, Nimrod, and the Australian swimmer who's blasting America. You'll hear Donald Trump talking about stuff, and Putty Tat warning he's a lot stronger than you think. A lot of Hunter Biden and Archer stuff. Miranda Devine's come up with when we redo the actual document, they tried to sneak over on the judge with the Hunter Biden stuff. Also, Vice President Shiftless and Lazy, Dick Morris thing. Well, he's got a billion things coming up. But first, boys, shall we... should we do this now? Well, if you don't want to, are we in for this? Fine. Are we okay? Everybody's okay. I know it's all personal. It's just, I haven't done a rainy day theater Playhouse in forever.
Weeks.
And I used to, I bolted out of bed 2:15 this morning. I'm thinking, oh my God, it's writing itself. It's like it just came to me in the night, and it just flowed from me. I went downstairs to my typewriter, my Select 2 or whatever it is, and it just came flying out. So have we? You guys sure? Everybody ready? Here we go.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. Welcome to another edition of the Kimmer's Rainy Day Theater Playhouse, where we endeavor to bring a ray of sunshine into the otherwise dreary existence of you, the little people. It's a gift from our hearts, the very soul of our thespian team. Today, you are part of history, and this live performance is about to draw you into the dirty underbelly of modern-day socialist America. Today's episode... I'll teach you to drive my Corvette with one of your sluts. The setting, a private banquet hall behind the Iron Curtain. We see fat commie cats with giant cigars and shifters and snifters of fine brandy. While Hunter Biden, the host, receives a lap dance from a 14-year-old tranny runaway from Chechnya, he snorts a line of coke from her backside and says, "Hey, let's call Dad." And today, we reveal for the first time the Kimmer's hidden secret microphone, picking up the stunning admission as Vice President White Trash does his corn pop tough guy act.
Put them on the phone. I want to talk about the weather.
You want to talk about the weather?
Yeah, whether they got our effing money or not.
And
wait a minute.
Scene.
That sounds familiar.
Hold on.
I bolted out of bed. It was like, I said, and again, it takes the president, and the whole issue of the hidden stuff and how they got caught with the transcript. I was unbelievable. I bolted out and I thought, holy cow.
Bad text theater here.
What?
That's bad text theater.
Sounds very familiar.
Wait, what now? What?
Plagiarizing son of a...
Wait, what are we talking about?
We just did this yesterday. This is the same bad text theater joke we did yesterday.
Wait a minute. I can't be right. I think you're...
You don't remember?
Did you? I'll bet the morning show called you guys and said, make sure you sandbag the Kimmer's performance on the Rainy Day Theater Playhouse and pretend that you did that you're copying like they're claiming I'm doing with the morning show every day.
Yeah, because we do what they say.
Oh my God.
We're not the rhino.
Well, all right, we've had a live performance setback. I will, however, continue because the show must go on. And now here we are. Alas, while we bask in your praise, we must remember to thank those who made this wonderful experience possible. Like the man who says we should all start off with a morning tug. He invented a new word. Plagiarism. He tried to help an old lady check her balance at the ATM once by pushing her over. He says he'd love to have a stepson so he doesn't have to beat his own kids. The morning tugster. And how can we ever truly appreciate the sacrifice of the hardy little fellow who once had a girlfriend who said she wanted him to tease her. So he said, "Okay, fatty." He found the best way for white guys to satisfy their wives is to hire a pool boy. He tried to show off on Jeopardy once by guessing that in Europe, Miley Cyrus is really called Kilometer E. Cyrus. He claims the video he bragged about of him giving a martial arts demonstration was actually he walked into a spider web. He found out the only thing worse than dating a single mom is dating a single mom who won't put out. He found out that women are like blackjack. You aim for 21, but he keeps hitting on 14. The Rhino, ladies and gentlemen.
God, that was a low blow.
And now, about our newly lovesick boy toy with his life's harmonica, Miss Veronica. The man who said a lot of things changed when he thought his old girlfriend got pregnant. His name changed, his phone changed, his address changed. Once he was at a girlfriend's house when she said, "Daddy, please pass the salt," and you both reached for it. He went on a date once with a girl who had a lazy eye, but he dumped her because she was seeing somebody else. He asked one girlfriend, "Hey, do you think my salary is sufficient for you?" She said, "Sure for me, but what are you going to live on?" He found out the hard way when his girlfriend said he can make love anywhere he wants. That did not include her little sister. But at least he's happy knowing his girlfriend now is always happy and smiling whenever they make love, no matter what she's reading. Yes, the mechanical mangler, Flounder, ladies and gentlemen. And now, as our blood pressure and our moral code begin to decline, we await the Barefoot Dance Division of the Kimmer's after-party review of beauties. We pause for a brief moment, basking in your adulation, and offering you, again one day soon, a dream and a wish on the wings of an angel, gently wiping away the pathetic drudgery of everyday life for you, the little people, with grace and love from the Kimmer's Rainy Day Theater Playhouse.
All I know is Los and I got off pretty easy on that.
Anyway, maybe the last one ever, but who knows?
Well, if you
3:45.
keep stealing our stuff.
Well, you know, it came to me at the night. As I get up and I do all this stuff, and then you turn on me. They're turning on me.
Suing you is what we're going to do.
You get what you get. 3:45. Bill Maher's next, and Donald Trump and the CNN idiot. We got all the sound. You're going to hear it next. Plus comedy stuff, and we got tweets and Skynet, and man, we got so much. And it's 3:45, and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Whack, whack. Boom, boom, whack. What was this used for a commercial? What was this famous for? Wasn't there a famous commercial where this was a movie or a documentary or something?
It's a favorite. It was a great song.
It was a great song, but I'm trying to...
Whoa, no, you're thinking of Vanilla Ice, who stole that.
Oh, my God, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
oh, my God, it's Vanilla Ice.
Yeah.
For that opening beat. Oh, my God, you're absolutely right. This is Queen, of course. And on this day in...
and David Bowie.
And David Bowie.
That's right.
On 2000...
So you do like a David Bowie song?
Oh, my God. I quit. That's it. I'm going to go buy one tonight, I guess, probably. 2007 on this day. By the way, we have some wonderful feedback about our incredible performances of the Kimmers Rainy Day Theater Playhouse. You can't wait to hear them coming up here any moment. 2007, Brian May, the Queen guitar player, handed in his astronomy thesis for his Ph.D. 36 years after he gave it up to join the band Queen. Brian May had recently carried out observational work for his thesis in Tenerife, where he studied the formation of zodiacal dust clouds. Zodiacal? Because zodiac is the word, but I'll bet it's zodiacal.
I bet it's not.
I'll bet you $6 it's zodiacal. All right, now, new Nick, look it up. He's going to look up the preferred pronunciation from Webster's freaking dictionary or Uncle Henry's thesaurus or one of those.
Here's the problem.
What?
The English usually pronounce it one way, and we pronounce it the other.
Oh, you lying, you dirty bastard.
I'm not kidding.
Chicken-legged son of a...
How do you say controversy?
I say controversy.
You know how they say it?
No, controversy.
Controversy.
In fact, I remember every time who's the British guy does all the nature things? Sir Richard Edmund Attenborough. Yeah. And he says controversy. And
have you noticed they've changed the name?
But this isn't a British dictionary, it's an American dictionary.
This week, they changed the pronunciation of Niger.
I know, I heard that.
Our whole life it's been Niger and Nigeria, Niger. Right. Niger.
Yeah, give me a break. They're afraid to say the N-word.
And it was Kiev our whole life.
Yeah, now it's Kiev.
Yeah.
No, it was Kiev, now it's Kiev.
Yeah.
Chicken Kiev? I don't think so. Give me a break. All right, new Nick, I say it's zodiacal.
I already got my out, man.
I say it's zodiacal. He says it's zodiacal. What is the correct answer, if you would, please? I can't hear a thing. What, are you back there? What's going on? Where'd he go?
Is he talking to the microphone?
There you go. Over that little thing with a button on it, the little red.
Most of them say it's zodiacal.
$6, please. $6.
No, that was mine. I said zodiacal. You say you lying, cheating bastard. Oh my God, he almost had me. I'm reaching for my pocket. Oh my God, you lying bastard.
This close to a clean getaway.
Oh my God.
But he said most, but.
Yeah.
There was a big but, as Pee-wee said.
One of them said it could be either.
One.
Ta-da!
Oh, well, all right, $3.
All it takes is one.
$3.
You still owe me the $5 from the last bet I won.
You what bet?
I don't remember.
Yeah, nice try. This is unbelievable. Oh, okay, and I'm giving him $5. Wait a minute, there was no bet. Oh my God. Anyway, now did I even say? You got his thesis. So Brian May got his thesis. We haven't even got off the music thing
That's
yet.
That's Pee Wee Herman's best life. There's always a big but.
Birthdays include John Landis, the director of Animal House, The Blues Brothers, Kentucky Fried Movie, American Werewolf in London, Trading Places, Coming to America, and Thriller.
Those were movies of my teenage years and 20s was John Landis.
He's 73, which makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
That was where you grew up with those things.
Yeah.
I mean, Animal House, Blues Brothers,
American Werewolf in
Trading
London.
Places. Wow.
Every time I go to London, I get one of those tubes. I find myself on the tube elevator, those big, long elevators, by myself. I think of that scene of that werewolf in that damn tube station.
That's got to be freaky.
It is.
I've never been in one like that. Oh, well, Chicago has elevated trains, but it's not like the tube in London.
They're very claustrophobic.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Let's see. This was a sad day in 1966. Lenny Bruce, the very unusual comedian who was, I don't want to say he was a trendsetter, but he was a glass ceiling shatterer. He did things that were banned almost everywhere, but he was, if you don't know who Lenny Bruce is, it's worth Googling and you'll learn a lot.
He paved the way for George Carlin.
But Lenny Bruce was very controversial. 1966, he overdosed on morphine and died at the age of 40.
He's a big character in that The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. And there's one show that's just dedicated with her and him on the town in Miami in the 1960. It is so beautifully filmed. It's just a wonderful, the whole hour show.
That's a Netflix thing?
Amazon. Yeah,
I got to get that phone. Wasn't there a Dustin Hoffman movie about him?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, Lenny Bruce, right? And Valerie Perrine was his wife.
Valerie Perrine, yeah, that's right. And one historical note here. Screw it. We're putting it up. Oh, let's get to. Oh, you're going to help Bill Maher and the CNN guy and Donald Trump. First of all, the accolades are. You like me. You really like me.
The early reviews.
Pete says we got the reviews are in, and he says I'm going to be thrilled with this because again, this came to me last night. It was just boom, pow. I got up and like 2:20. I'm at the typewriter. Boom, it's done. Wow, bang. Anyway, so let's hear him. And again, I humbly appreciate and
accept. This is where you heard it from.
Can we get to it?
There we go. Here it is now.
All right, here we go. The Village Voice says, stop it. Just stop it. The Guardian, no. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Variety says, boffo, nofo, mofo. All right. Clayton says, well, it's better with the music. And Sophia says, no, it's not. Gwendolyn, it's exactly as yesterday. Sophia, this is not funny. Mark, he knows Gwen. Gwen, yeah, I think it's part of this bad bit.
Wait.
Frank, I'm going to go to the Flat Earth show. What the blank camera? Sophia, that bit is never funny, but at least it's shorter than before. Mark, haters gotta hate.
Okay. Well, that's good to feel appreciated for all the effort I put into it. They just come flying out of my butt, All right. Now, by the way, I think it's a good sign. More and more, we're giving you examples of things we can either make fun of concerning the left and how they're losing it, or some people on the left, including one Bill Maher, who's getting, every once in a while, he'll come out with things we think are, we're very appreciative because he's saying, all right, hold on, you people, let's stand back and take a look at what we're doing. Remember the other day, we showed you the video in New York City of an illegal immigrant stealing stuff in a store, and they just beating the living crap out of him. Tell a story about the Texas blockade.
Huh?
And the guy trying to make it across Texas and the Rio Grande and the...
they found two bodies in the Rio, and one of them was lodged up against that floating device.
It works!
It's working!
It works!
It works.
How easy was that? Maybe he'll send a message to say, excuse me, it's better to sign the book. And again, anyway, whatever.
How about any other place in the world where you try and invade another country and you die, no one blinks an eye.
And remember, just one more for the record, we're going to play Bill Maher in just 1 second. Oh, my God, we can't. It's 4 o'clock. Oh, my God. But for the record, remember, if you're an American woman and you're 9 months pregnant and you go to Mexico and have your baby in Mexico, you're not Mexican. They say, go home. The kid is not Mexican. He's an American, and they kick you out of the country. Right. They do not put up with this crap. Hold on. Bill Maher and Donald Trump and the CNN idiot, the Australian chicks all ticked off. Oh, man, we got... And the Hunter stuff and the grandkids, and blah, we got so much. 4 o'clock with the Kipper P. Flounder and New Nick. Our Friday edition of our Thursday. Shannon Burke is in here tomorrow, and we'll tell you more about him and the show and everything. 4 o'clock. Look out. Da-da-da-da-dum. Rolling Stone, baby. Rolling Stone with Bobby. Call him Bobby, a friend of mine. I saw him, I said, Bobby, how you doing? Nice overalls you got there, my boy.
Can you?
Bob Dylan. Bum, bum.
Laugh about.
So I'm just enjoying a song for a second, if you don't
Great
mind.
song.
Whoa, hanging out.
Boom, 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 boom,
loud.
boom, 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 da, da, bum, bum. I love this part. How does it feel? 2002, after 37 years away, Bob Dylan returned to the Newport Folk Festival, now known as the Apple and Eve Newport Folk Festival, where he performed a 2-hour show, 19 songs, wore a false beard and a wig. The songs he played included Subterranean Homesick Blues. Boy, I haven't heard that in 30 years, I'll bet, probably. Desolation Row, Positively 4th Street. No, I love that song, too. The Wicked Messenger, Like a Rolling Stone, we're just listening to, Mr. Tambourine Man. And one of my favorites is I Want You. I had Flounder put that on my magic music stick. It's just an unusual Dylan song. But again, after 37 years, he went to the Newport Folk Festival, and that's where I went in 1963 with my buddy. We hitchhiked and got there in 2 rides or something. Anyway, before I forget, I mentioned Shannon Burke. I got a birthday and a thing here, too. Before I may have made a mistake. Tomorrow, we're off for a few days. Shannon Burke, our buddy we used to work with and stuff, who's now down in Florida, is doing our show, but he's actually doing his show, and he's going to do both shows at the same time, basically. So he will not be in the studio here. He'll still be down in Florida, but he'll be doing our show 3 to 6, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And he will not be on YouTube because he's not here in the studio for the camera YouTube. So he'll be down in Florida. And now, will he be part of the camerashow.net kind of deal, or what's the deal on that?
Yeah. Thunder.
Oops, was that thunder?
Yeah, that was thunder.
Oh my, we can hear it through the windows.
You talking about Shannon?
Yeah, Shannon Burke. Now
we're taking his show and putting on our airwaves. It's not going to be on our YouTube page or Rumble or anything like that. He's not going to be in studio.
Doesn't he have his own YouTube?
I believe he's got his own live social media.
So they could look up. Look up
Shannon Burke.
Burke, Shannon Burke, and do that. Anyway, so he'll be doing it for for Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week, which is great. If you don't know him, you'll love him. He's just a great host, a great guy. Quick. Let's see what I got here. Bing, bang, boom, bam. Birthdays. Let's see. Well, that's not very exciting. Isaiah Washington is oh my God, is 60. He was the guy, the chancellor on the 100. He was Dr. Preston Burke on Grey's Anatomy, the black guy. And didn't he get in trouble for talking about gays or something? Remember when they kicked him off the show?
I never watched that show.
Yeah, I never. I saw the first year of the first season, I think. I was married at the time. I had to.
Did you watch the Braves game? Well, we were here yesterday.
Oh, we were here yesterday.
You were here yesterday.
Yeah.
Basically, they were Brandon Gaudin, who does the TV thing, was talking with Jeff Francoeur. Lucas Giolito was pitching.
Yeah.
All right. And they talked about his grandfather. You know who his grandfather is?
No.
Remember Seinfeld and George Costanza was going to marry what's-her-face? What was the girl?
Yeah. Oh, the Jewish girl? No, they wanted to convert to Greekism? That's the one
that licked the stamps and died.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the hottie from NBC.
What was her name?
Oh, I can't remember her name.
Well, anyway, her father, remember her father?
Yeah.
That was his grandfather that played the father, her father.
Damn. No kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, the guy burned down the cabin, you mean?
I think
with
so.
The cigar? Oh, my God. Yeah, that's a story. Remember that? It was Kramer stayed at the cabin and lit a cigar, and he burned down the place, and then he found his love letters to another man.
John Updike or something like that.
Yeah, that's what it was. Oh, my God. And so that girl's father...
Susan.
Yeah, Susan from the NBC executive, and they burned down her father's cabin, and he had his love letters with George Sanders or somebody. I don't know who it was. That's pretty cool. My God, 407. It's only us, the Kimmer, Pete Flounder, and New Nick's back there. All right, so we took care of that. Now, let's do Bill Maher.
Yeah.
Let's just start. Bill Maher is blasting I mentioned the people in New York are complaining, the mayor of New York complaining about all the, pouring out there now. Oh, wowie. Anyway, complaining about all the homeless people. And the sidewalks are covered with tents and people just sleeping on the sidewalk in New York City. And my comment was, you asked for it. Yeah, well, of course. And I mean, it's all over the place. And again, the mayor of New York particularly screaming about it's not fair. The government should close the border. Well, duh. Finally, he said that. And also, we need help in taking care of this. Well, how would you like to have 800,000 of them in your city instead, it's like 400? Anyway, so Bill Maher is saying, you people have to snap out of it.
And of course, they didn't like it. And it's just a good example of, could everybody just stop the posturing? Don't pretend that you love migrants so much, and then when we send them to you, you don't like them. You're full of shit, and we can see that. Yeah, you like them when it wasn't your problem because you're not a border state. And then when they show up in Chicago and New York, you're like, what the what are we going to do with these people?
Well, he said, because he lives in L.A., and he sees it every day.
He was talking to Sharon Osbourne, talking about moving back to England and how London has homeless people, but nothing like here. No, and that's what it started. No tents. Oh, no, God, it wouldn't have tents. That'd be where it all went wrong for us, Bill Maher said, when they started putting up all the tents. A reverse of what liberalism really is. Liberalism is, for the sake of humanity and compassion, can we get these people off the streets? The wokeism is, how dare you ask them to move? This is their home. No, it's not.
I tell you, it will blow your mind if you live in New York or Chicago or L.A. and you go to London and walk around and you go, oh, my God, this is how a city should look.
Yeah. A lot of,
I wasn't panhandled once the entire time. Not once.
Well, they're civilized. I mean, they're not, again, all of a sudden, everybody's a victim, and if you say anything or try to solve anything, you're some kind of a racist or a homophobe or a white supremacist or a Republican. I mean, it's nonsense.
People should have homes, not tents on public sidewalks. Yeah. I'm sorry.
And if the issue is drug abuse and all
craziness,
of them are on crack or on something,
open up the mental institutions again. They don't have to be snake pits like they used to be.
Yeah, and if you want to, clearly your resources have to be spent differently. Well, anyway, I can't.
How about not giving them the drugs to use on the sidewalks like Oregon does out there?
Yeah, free needles, so they're clean. Yeah, that's the other thing. We want to make sure that you're healthy when you're taking your illegal drugs. We don't want you to die when you're taking your meth and your,
Also, here's something. How about for most Americans, quit doing cocaine?
Yeah.
Because you're driving what's coming over the border.
Yeah. In fact, I thought that was all gone. I didn't know cocaine was still a thing.
Major.
Honestly.
It's major.
Well, the problem is now with fentanyl.
Yeah, well, that's the worst thing. And again, that's from China and Mexico. If it weren't for China, Mexico, and liberal Americans and open borders, we wouldn't have the issue. If it weren't for the open borders and the liberals in America, we wouldn't have the issue the way we have it now.
If we wouldn't have so many in America who can't stay off the drugs. Yeah. And I'm talking about cocaine, mainly.
411. Okay, let's do this. The CNN analyst idiot is comparing Donald Trump to Osama bin Laden. Even the CNN host was going, that raises kind of an eyebrow there, mister. Anyway, this guy is an analyst named Michael Fanone. He's a former cop in D.C. He's a true Trump hater. He's obviously mentally ill. Listen to what he says about how he felt when he heard that Donald Trump was going to be indicted and arrested again.
When I first learned about the indictment, I had a long conversation with a friend of mine, Ryan Riley. And I told him how proud I felt to be an American at that moment, much in the way that I did when I learned that our military had killed Osama bin Laden. I just felt incredibly proud.
These two seem comparable to you?
Proud to
she couldn't believe it. Even she couldn't believe it.
But why that comparison in particular?
The CNN girl couldn't believe it.
Osama bin Laden was a terrorist who committed a horrific act against American people and against our republic. And I believe that Donald Trump is a terrorist who committed horrific acts against the American people.
This idiot had a gun.
Where do you start?
Somebody gave him a gun and put him at the Capitol. This idiot. And the day before, Michael Beschloss on MSNBC, the so-called presidential historian who's now a whore for the Democratic Party,
right. I remember
used the same terms. Said Trump is like bin Laden and Pearl Harbor. They've all got the memo.
These are the guys who also, on television, when they showed the video of the guy with the buffalo head being escorted through the Capitol with police next to him being escorted, they said they should kill him. They should kill him. Shoot him, kill him. He's an anarchist, a traitor, he's a treasonist. Remember, they said it on TV.
Through Congress.
Kill him.
Yeah.
They should kill him. They should shoot him. I mean, my God. I mean, by the way, he sort of backed down a little bit where he said, well, other than my opinion, what I say to Republican lawmakers is, it's all crap to take out time on cable news. So anyway, but still, I mean, what the nerve. And people are listening to this. Yeah. Your children are hearing this crap when you watch CNN. Donald Trump is Osama bin Laden?
Well, at least the ratings suck.
Dirty. I mean, God. 413. Look out, it's only me, it's only the Kimmer, 418 on 106.3 with Pete Davis, Flounder, and New Nick the intern, and Metallica. It was on this day in 1991. Metallica held a playback party to launch their self-titled album at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Kurt Cobain and Chris Novoselic from Nirvana both went to it. That was in 1991. And by the way, happy birthday to James Hetfield, who is 60 today. Their singer, Enter Sandman, Nothing Else Matters, One, The Unforgiven, all kinds of stuff. Happy birthday, James, 60 years old today. And on this day in history, speaking of music, here's how Flounders Guy writes this historical note here.
You make it sound like this guy's my friend I hang out with. It's just a website I get stuff from.
I've never met him. He's obviously, he lives in, he's a British guy, I'm almost positive, because just by the tone of what he says. But here's exactly what he says. I'll read it to you. 52 years ago, in 1971, Ringo Starr's flunky, Paul McCartney, announced the formation of his new supergroup, Wings. Ringo Starr's flunky?
Bit facetious.
Okay, fine. Anyway, okay, we got so many things. Oh, by the way, we have a special new song we're going to play for you shortly. You're going to hear Donald Trump here in a minute. First of all, one more. We just talked about the guy on CNN comparing Donald Trump to Osama bin Laden and how excited he was when Trump got arrested. Here we go again. There's an Australian swimmer named Kate Campbell who won gold medal at the World Aquatics Championship in Japan. And Australia finished with 51 gold medals. U.S. had 7. We had more total medals than any other nation with 44, but both squads finished behind China in the gold medal count. They had 20 for China. The thing lasted like 2 weeks, this event. Anyway, this girl from Australia, Campbell, took the added measure of emphasizing just how sweet it is to beat the Americans. Quote, Australia's coming out on top of the world is one thing, but it is just so much sweeter beating America. The first night of competition, we did not have to hear Star Spangled Banner ring out through the stadium. I cannot tell you how happy that made me. If I hear that song again, it'll be too soon. Bring on the Paris Olympics in 2024. That's all I have to say. The U.S. stop being sore losers. The U.S. have this cowboy, this internal cowbell they ring. As someone leaves to go to the competition pool, they ring out, USA, USA. I've never wanted to punch somebody more than steal that stupid cowbell. I really hope somebody did. Well, an American named Lily King replied, gee, sorry we aren't so uptight. We can't cheer for our teammates as they walk out for events. See you in Paris. Oh, mercy.
This is from a country that locked people up in concentration camps because they had the sniffles.
Yeah. This is a penal colony.
Yeah.
And remember, during the China kill virus, they literally told you cannot leave your home, and they had monitors.
Well, if you sniffled at work, they'd follow you to your house with a truck, load you up, and maybe your family too, and off to the concentration camp where people were literally jumping the fence to escape.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have the Glenn Greenwald thing again? Speaking of people, the liberals and stuff, and how he set them in his place. We did that recently. I don't know. We maybe put it in here again. All right. How about this? Let's hear from Donald Trump, and then we'll talk about Hunter Biden. It's 421. Oh no! In fact, hold everything. Let's do a Flounders.
Oh, by the way, one more thing.
Yeah.
Without the U.S. Navy, that bitch doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's right.
Japan
Australia
overruns them without the Battle of the Coral Sea and all that stuff.
That's right.
I'm sorry. There's no Australia without us.
You know how Japan wanted Australia as a leaping off point and I mean, wow.
Just wanted. I don't know why you'd want it. It's nothing there but sheep and sheep lovers.
Well,
but
it's territory, but it puts them. But anyway, yeah, you're right. Absolutely right. And again, it was a penal colony.
When I was a kid, everybody wanted to go to Australia. It looked cool. You know, there's Skippy the kangaroo show we'd watch on Saturdays.
The Outback.
You couldn't pay me to go. I will go to New Zealand. But I will not go to Australia. Screw Australia.
And I know this is going to sound bad, and I almost hate bringing it up, but I swear this is true. And we used to work. I think you worked with a girl from Australia. many, many years ago. It might have been before. Maybe it might have been
before. Yeah,
might have been long before. Anyway, decades ago, I worked with a girl from Australia in radio here in Atlanta, and she would. And I remember reading some stories about how in the culture. This is back in the maybe 80s or early 90s, and before that. And I read something about how women going on dates in Australia know that the chances are they're going to have sex. That the men in Australia are so aggressive about it that the women, it's not even called date rape. It's just that you can expect you're going to get at least groped, and chances are he's going to want to get you drunk enough to have sex with you. And it's a standard thing, and all the girls are aware of it. And she said, yeah, it's true. The Australia guys are really, really bullies about this kind of thing. And, if you're an Australian girl and you know a guy and you're going out with him, chances are you're going to have sex with him.
If only they had as much testosterone when the government shows up for their guns and takes them off to camps.
Well, again, that was many years ago before they showed their true colors. Anyway, Donald Trump, he's thinking about going to the debate. And on the other hand, by the way, do we have this soundbite? I forgot to ask you. Flounder, do we have this or not?
No.
We don't. Oh, never mind. Put that over there.
Forget the whole thing. There.
Now let's go to. I swear to God, I heard him. And I remember chasing it. Well, it's our Friday.
Let me know and I can probably find it.
I thought I did. I thought I put it in a listing.
Contestant number 2.
My bad. That's I believe me. I'll
do your song.
I'll do. There you go. Well, I want to talk about Hunter Biden. There's more stuff on Hunter Biden coming up, including how they're now saying that there was defensive leverage to send the right signals to his foreign business partners for him to call daddy at all these dinner meetings. And again, remember all this so-called dinner meeting. Every person at those dinner meetings who got a phone call sent money to the Bidens. It was quid pro quo. He didn't have to say, give me money or else, make your life miserable. He said, hi, how you doing? I'm the vice president. Good to talk to you. Well, my son Hunter's right there. Hope you guys have a great night. Great talking to you. Bye-bye now. Oh, let me write that check. That's what happened. It was quid pro quo. And you damn well know it. If that had been Don Trump and Junior was in those parties, she would have said it was quid pro quo. So anyway, we know the fix is in. In fact, the Kimmer musical staff for the Kimmer's Rainy Day Theater Playhouse all got together last night and came up with our own version of a new version of the song Cat in the Cradle, talking about Daddy and his son right here.
Came around just the other day. He said, I got
somebody else did.
a deal where we can both get paid. Can I trade on your name? I said, sure, okay. Will anyone know? He said, no way. And as he walked away, he looked kind of dim and said, I'm gonna be like him.
He's done it.
And Hunter's in the basement with a silver spoon. Ukrainian brides were gonna be there soon. When you're coming home, Dad, I don't know when. I'll put aside your 10%, Dad. I'll always have your 10%. Well, he came from Kiev just the other day. Had a smile so big I just had to say, son, I'm proud of you. How's our cash supply? He nodded his head and said, great big guy, but what I really need, Dad, is to borrow the car keys. You can take the vet, but watch the boxes, please.
Pretty funny. But our friend Sean, one of our listeners, sent us that. Do you know who did that, actually? I don't even know.
No, but it has a montage of a bunch of the pictures of Hunter's computer.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Very entertaining.
Yes, absolutely.
I know who didn't do it.
Who?
The charred corpse of Harry Chapin didn't do it.
No, it was a car ride. He
was in a Volkswagen Beetle, and a truck hit him or something on a bridge in New York, and he burned to death in the thing.
Yeah, it was horrible. Yeah, I remember reading about it. It's not good. Anyway, the first crime family son would tell business partners that they had unique access because his father was vice president of the United States. And Mr. Archer, who testified in Congress, said, yeah, we would say we had unique understanding of D.C. and how it operates and how that, could positively affect the terms of our business. And for the record, in case you haven't heard it, one of the reasons this was so important is because the gas firm Burisma that paid Hunter Biden was going to go out of business. And this guy Archer testified Burisma would have gone out of business if I didn't have the brand attached to it from Hunter Biden and Joe Biden to make deals and keep their money going, which is why they paid Hunter Biden $80,000 a month or whatever it was to help. So that it's right there. It's the smoking gun. And then in return for the money, he had the prosecutor fired who was looking into his son. I mean, my God, we're not making this
If that was Trump on video,
think about
saying that we had interfered in another country.
And then he said, and the son of a bitch was gone. The next, he bragged about it. Oh, it's hysterical. And Hunter also got a Porsche.
Sure.
Tell him that story. You know about that story?
Supposedly he got a Porsche when he got Joe to have dinner with some guy from Kazakhstan or something, some ne'er-do-well. And afterwards, somebody gave him a Porsche for his efforts.
Well, if you don't think this is unusual, where people are trying to show off to their business partners or show off that they have connections to the White House, here's an example that I remembered many years ago, and I did a little digging this morning about Dick Morris. Dick Morris used to be President Pervert Bill Clinton's closest political advisor. And then all of a sudden, there was an incident where Dick Morris was caught in a toe-sucking fetish scandal with a leggy blonde hooker named Sherry Rowlands. Well, she sold her story to tabloids. Dick Morris was forced to resign in the middle of the Democratic National Convention in 1994. On the other hand, here's the funny part that I want to bring this to you about people trying to use connections with the White House. This girl Rowlands said there was an episode in which she and Morris, he let her listen in to a phone conversation with the President of the United States. She says Dick Morris wanted to show off for the girl he's sucking her toes, and he wanted to show off. He called the White House. Hillary answered. She said the president was exercising at the moment and she would go get him. And when Clinton came back and he sounded really ticked off and he said, look, Dick, I really prefer you not use this phone anymore. You can understand Hillary's upset. My wife's not well. With all the Deal Whitewater trial and everything, she's not well, man. The regular lines, don't call the private residence anymore, for God's sakes. And Dick Morris said, I'm sorry, sir, and hung up. Some bragging to his hooker, and then he got the White House all right. He said, leave me alone, you bastard. Anyway, this is it. This is the stuff. Been going on forever. PowerPoint. And here we go. All right, 4:30. We got more. Stand by. A lot coming up here. Dun, 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 dun. How's it going? It's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete and Flounder and New Nick back there. And Def Leppard, on this day in 1987, released their fourth studio album, Hysteria. Dun, dun, dun. It was their best-selling album to date in 87. 20 million copies around the world. The title was thought up by the drummer Rick Allen. The title of Hysteria, relating to his experiences during the time of his car accident, and the worldwide media coverage that followed was hysterical, and he called it Hysteria, so that's kind of cool. Let's see, on this date in history, musical note here. In 1974, Jeff Skunk Baxter quit Steely Dan and joined the Doobie Brothers. He's also, Jeff Skunk Baxter, as you may know, is a defense consultant who specializes in missile defense, of all things.
What?
That's true. I remember reading that once a couple of years ago in history. He's actually done things like for the Pentagon and various stuff. He's a consultant.
And the Doobie Brothers?
Yeah, he's a consultant, yeah. Hard to believe. I know. I can't believe it myself.
That frightens me.
I know. It's ridiculous. One of the great actors, comedian and serious actor, John C. McGinley.
Yes.
John C. McGinley, 64. He was Dr. Cox on Scrubs, a brilliant style of comedy. I mean, in fact, I remember one of the hot blondes in the show said something like he was walking down the hall, and if you've seen the show, you know he's kind of the quick-witted, sarcastic, Anyway, so he's standing there, and the girl's walking down the hall and says something like, "Gee, you think you and I could go out on a date sometime?" And he says, "Yeah, sure, if you want to get hit in the face," or something, some ridiculous. If you want me to rough you up a little, I mean, it just came out of nowhere. I thought it's the damnedest thing.
That you find funny?
I thought it was just the doctor.
He was the guy in Office Space.
Office Space, and also in Platoon.
Well, I didn't care for that movie.
Well, but it was great acting job. He
I
said,
don't
"No,
remember him.
I'm not walking out on point. I'm a short timer, man. I got like 32 in a wake up, man." I mean, I'm telling you, that it was there. He was really good at that. And John C. McGinley, he was Bob Slidell in Office Space. Well, tell me, Bob.
Let's say there was some
Slidell.
stock option equities.
Well, and this is a long shot, believe me. What would you say it is you do here?
You actually do here.
Well, Bob.
Bob. It's just a great movie. Where you can
It
just
sums up cubicle
That's
office
perfect.
work. Yeah.
Dealing with a copier. I mean, come on.
Yeah. We're going to need
you to move your desk in the
put
back
the TPS cover on that TPS report.
Anyway.
Funny thing is, I worked prior to my radio career. I worked at a company that the software would generate PTS reports.
Really?
PTS
Oh, my
reports.
God.
I need my stapler. I can burn the place down.
A couple things. Miranda Devine has now given us the actual document where Hunter and his team, along with cahoots by the Department of Justice, tried to hide his ability to skate from any other criminal charges. Marjorie Taylor Greene writes, Merrick Garland is giving Hunter Biden immunity and locking up Joe Biden's top political opponent. Talk about election interference. And Miranda Devine, I love her. Have you ever seen her on Fox? She's on all the time from New York Post. She wrote the book on Hunter Biden's laptop from hell, I think it's called. Anyway, she said, Hunter Biden diversion agreement just docketed in Delaware, paragraph 15. Here is paragraph 15. Right. The United States agrees not to criminally prosecute Biden outside of the terms of this agreement for any federal crimes encompassed by the attached statement of facts. To the memorandum of the plea agreement, this agreement does not provide any protection against prosecution for any future conduct by Biden or by his affiliated businesses in the future. In the future. But they'd let him get away with any federal crime. And they caught him, and that's how it read. That's the document they tried to hide in the plea agreement. And thank God the judge didn't let him get away with it. One more thing, by the way, that disgusting slimeback Eric Swalwell has been caught once again. He was endorsing a convicted pedophile. Well, he endorsed a guy who turned out to be a pedophile, and got him elected. And then earlier, of course, we know that he had this affair with Fang Fang. Eric Swalwell had his own town hall meeting the other day, and people started screaming out, "Where's Fang Fang? Where's your buddy Fang Fang?" He loves to tear down, insult, and accuse others of doing things he actually has done. Dipping his wick in the inkwell of Fang Fang, he should be charged and jailed. And there are pictures of the two of them together all over the place. Somebody needs to tell Fang Fang's boyfriend we already have an immigration system that's his party's now open for the borders of destruction and chaos that comes with it. He got heckled at his town hall. "Liar, liar, where's Fang Fang?" Can you imagine what would happen if Matt Gaetz had done the same thing? We'd never hear the end of it. Despicable double standard. What was that breaking news thing there?
Nothing.
Anyway, good. Okay. Anyway, so once again, he's been outed as well. Pete Davis, our stellar vice president, ladies and gentlemen, has done it once again. I don't know if there's audio to go along with this. I don't know.
I haven't seen
In fact,
it.
Flounder, you may, as we
There
speak,
probably is.
It just came in, and we'll look for it for later in case there is.
Here's a dramatic reading.
Where was she speaking? Do we know where she was speaking?
I think she's at the White House. She's in charge, like Alexander Haig, as Biden is once again at the beach.
By the way, I wrote this down. Give me like 30 seconds. I wrote this down. Joe Pants on Fire has taken 364 days away from the White House.
39% of his presidency.
364 days away from the White House. And he's on the beach now while all this is going on.
Yeah. Here's Kamala Harris delivered a word salad to the Mongolian prime minister.
Aha!
And the look on his face, he's looking at her, trying to follow what she's saying. Here's what she said, and I quote. You and I spoke briefly about the beginning of the next era and, for you, what that means in terms of your leadership and your vision for the future, and certainly strengthening our space cooperation would be a part of that agenda, including, of course, using our space cooperation to think about how we strengthen the economic prosperity and development of our nations, end quote. And he's looking at her like, sweet baby Genghis, spit it out, woman. Talk about a Mongolian nut cluster.
I mean, what is the matter with
what does
her?
that mean?
You guys want to hear the audio?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, here we go.
In particular, we will discuss the work that we will do together to strengthen our space cooperation. You and I spoke briefly about the beginning of the next era, and for you, what that means in terms of your leadership and your vision for the future. And certainly, strengthening our space cooperation would be a part of that agenda, including, of course, using our space cooperation to think about how we strengthen the economic prosperity and development of our nations.
Sweet baby Genghis.
Does she not know that she has these meetings? I mean, it's like they say, by the way, you got to meet this Mongolian guy, try to think of something about space or whatever. Okay, the important thing is to have the space quality that we have together for your own future of leadership. I mean, it's like she's putting words together. It's like she doesn't know what she's doing. How can they have her on the ticket for the Democrats? Honestly, people. Do you really think that this woman could be president of the United States? What would happen if she was the president? And this is what we get.
She mutilates the English language every time she does it.
She mutilates it. What was it? Mutilation?
That would be a great promo, what he did yesterday.
Mutilization.
Trying to say mutilate, and he said mutilization.
Mutilization. Mutilating is not mutilization. There's no, that's what it was. We're still trying to find out what you said you were going to stab me in the eye. What am I doing there? I can't. God, I wish I knew what that was. That was pretty funny.
But it's pretty bad when the Mongolian prime minister makes more sense than your vice president.
Isn't there a thing, Mongolian goulash? Isn't that what I used to love as a kid? Isn't that what it's called?
Hungarian goulash.
Mongolian, Hungarian. Isn't that the same?
First of all, there's Mongolian barbecue, which I first laughed at when I saw it in L.A. in '84, but it's a natural thing, and it's delicious.
What's in that, I wonder?
Barbecue from Mongolia.
Oh, well, maybe they have corn.
Hence the name. I don't know what is in it.
I bet it has something else in it.
Yeah, It's got
yak,
pork, just with some kind of good marinating sauce.
Okay, all right. Well,
It's yummy.
That's good. Yeah, excellent.
Mongolians have always fascinated me. Genghis Khan, that whole thing, that man and a bunch of horse ponies and arrows conquered the known world, basically.
Yeah, took it over. Yeah.
From China to Vietnam to India, all the way over to Iran and Iraq and Hungary and Russia. Amazing.
Yeah. On horseback with swords. And
they're the only ones who really subjugated Afghanistan. And you know what they did? They killed everybody.
Well, there you are.
They didn't talk to them. They didn't negotiate with them. Says, either you're with us or you're against us. Yeah. Well, no horse. Well, you can't win a war in Afghanistan. Yeah, you can.
Well, we should go back to that.
That's very easy.
That sounds pretty simple to me, guys.
Just kill them.
All right, hold on. We're gonna do like 9 comedy bits in a row coming up here because I
said that for like 4 days.
4:44. Time for the 4:45 break with Kieran Pete Flounder and New Nick. So we'll hold on with comedy next. Oh, I forgot to find out how we're doing here. Well, I know this is. I can tell by the song.
Your
I know
favorite band.
You know, it's untrue. Light my fire, baby. Yeah, my favorite group, The Doors. He's really challenging his range of octaves here. The Doors. It's a change your tune. There's maybe light my fire. The Doors. It was 1968. The Doors started a 2-week run at number 1 with Hello, I Love You. That was actually fairly interesting. Hello, I Love You, da-da-da-da, but I was kind of silly. Anyway, that was their first one. The second one was...
I played that the other day, and you said you hated it.
I hated the song, and it was an amusing little song, but I would never listen to it.
As opposed to the number 1 hits you've written.
Yeah, well, many things you don't know, mister. I was the number 1 contributor for the Eagles for many years, and the Beach Boys, when I used to play drums for them on their tours in summertime when I was off work. I was on vacation, and I'd fill in on the drums for the Beach Boys. Probably. The number 5 at the top, Jose Feliciano's version of Light My Fire was going on at the Hello, I Love You, giving the Doors 2 songs written by the group simultaneously in the top 5.
Did you know that Glenn Campbell once walked by a venue that the Doors had played 2 weeks before?
I did not walk by that with Glenn Campbell, but I, of course, have done interviews with Glenn Campbell. I could talk about it.
I just threw out, you did yesterday, in the middle of a story, you just threw out some random Glenn Campbell fact.
Well, no, it was
that had nothing to do with what we were talking about.
Pee Wee Herman or something. There was a link, if I remember correctly. I may not have it all right.
There was no link.
Possible. I might have mistaken something. Let's see. Jay North.
Who?
Dennis the Menace from the 60s on the original TV, the little blonde-haired kid.
He was too old to play Dennis.
Jay North is 72 today, but he was a few years too old. But again,
he was really too old to play him.
But they didn't have a lot of kid actors, I guess, at that time.
Oh, come on.
Well, the kid who played on Dick Van Dyke Show was horrible. Richie, oh, my God. He was horrible. Horrible.
Child actor grader Kim Peterson.
Well, I know. I have some skill in it. I did some acting. Nothing you should know about.
Child acting?
I did. Never mind. And
you did some acting?
Once had a magnificent physical relationship and a brief emotional relationship with a young girl who was a famous child actress and model. With gray eyes.
Names?
I'm not going to tell any names.
Erin Gray.
Everybody saw her. Everybody knew her. Everybody has seen.
You can't say that without telling.
Give us something. Come on.
451. How about some Frank Flounder's Phonics?
I think we should stand
we're standing right here.
Well, here's a fact of the matter. I can't remember. It was one of the. It was either. She was a famous model when she was like 4 or 5 years old. She had gray eyes, and it was either like the bikini pants, bathing suit down on walking the beach and for tanning salon or for tanning lotion. Remember the little girl, the little kind of bare-bottom girl?
That's a long
Well,
time.
yeah, but again, my event with her.
Tone,
my event with her was in 1982 or 3.
And you stripped her?
No, yeah, absolutely. And I have a very funny story about it, too, which is kind of unusual. I can tell you off the air. But again, and she had the picture on her wall. And it was she was the model of the little girl who was in. It was either like one with a breath mint or it was a 2 minutes in one. It was a little girl on either the bathing suit on the beach.
The double mint twins?
Something when she was a little teeny girl, and everybody saw the picture. Everybody knew this girl.
Now, wasn't the porn star who did the Gerber baby?
No. That was
the diaper thing.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
No, that was not
behind the green door.
Yeah, behind it. Yeah. No,
Marilyn
Chambers. Yeah. No, it was not her.
Who was not very good looking.
But I'm trying. I'll try to Google it and see if I can remember. She had gray eyes, and she was very sweet. And I kind of she wanted me to pick her up. She wanted me to tell her we're going to be going together tonight to her place. And we did. And it was a very unusual
what happened to you?
Situation. What?
You used to be so manly.
What are you talking about? I was pretty manly. I picked her up. And you know how I picked her up?
You used to control the situation in romance.
I did control it. And again, I was being a gentleman. I knew what she wanted, and I very gently and calm. And I tell you, you want to know the story? It was a Western night for ABC television, and I wore my actual chaps. I had rawhide chaps with strips of leather down the side. Assless chaps.
What?
All chaps are assless. They don't have ass chaps. No chaps have an ass part in them.
That's the name of my new band.
They're,
the ass chap.
they're meant for your legs, to guard your legs going through the brush riding herd.
Did you have pants on?
I did have pants on,
God.
but I wore my what did I just say? The kind of leather.
Jeff.
No, but kind of leather. Rawhide leather chaps with the strings, with the leather strips down the side, and spurs, cowboy boots with spurs. And I was the only guy wearing actually chaps and spurs to Western Night at the ABC television network shindig. And this girl was so impressed that she started, kind of flirting with me, and we had to cement the deal. And I have a great funny story later.
You cosplayed. Is it cos or cosplayed?
That's right. And it worked like a charm.
Cosplay. You're a cosplayer.
And now some Flounders. And I'll try to find out the exact thing. Flounders Funnies at 4:54. We'll pick one of many.
Live in California. My parents' neighbor keeps trying to get. I'm from Oklahoma originally. He's always trying to get me to leave California. Every time I'm home, he's like, "You got to get out of California, man. God's going to take the whole thing out. There's nothing but a bunch of heathens and sinners. You guys don't take the Bible seriously. He's going to take the whole thing out, get your family out." Not for years, I've thought he's crazy. But you know what? To his point, I've been thinking about, the state of California does just catch on fire all the time. I've been to every other state. None of them just combust 5 times a year. Something strange is going on. They don't even care. We call it a season. Fire season. Fire is not a season. It's not winter, spring, summer, fall. Fire. You don't walk outside like, "Oh, it's that type of year. Might come a fire anytime."
Who's that?
That is Brandon Vastel.
Vastel?
Vastel. Vestal.
Vastel. I'll be darned. Well, he's a very funny gentleman. 4:55. A couple of leftover things. Oh, I mentioned the other day that here we go. I mentioned the other day that I thought for sure that Mitch McConnell, when he had that pausing psychological out of touch thing at the podium the other day, that he had what I called a TIA, and I was not even sure that I was getting the term right. And I remember my mom used to have him when she was 89 before she actually died just dropped and passed away. But she had 5 or 6 of them over the course of several months of these little, what we used to call them a TIA. Well, here's the actual phrase is called transient ischemic attacks, TIA. And they're mini strokes, which is what I said. And I just did that from thinking I was correct. And actually, as it turned out, I was. And they're called mini strokes. And the problem is that they last for a few seconds and then you recover and don't think much about it. But I'm going to do it, and I won't dwell on this, but just so for the record, if you think you know someone who may have had one of those kind of went openly unconscious and walked around and didn't know what they were doing for a few minutes or something, here are the signs if you're having an example of a stroke like this. For example, the word is the phrase to keep in mind is be fast, BEFAST, be fast. B, balance. If you change your balance, you're losing a balance. E, eyesight. If your vision changes, you get blurred vision, lose your sight, double vision. F, facial droop. If your face or you have an uneven smile, if people notice, that's one of the first things they notice, an uneven smile and your drooping face. Your arm has weakness or with one side of your body. The S for speech. If your speech changes, slurring your words or speaking gibberish, that was one of the signs my mom started speaking gibberish. And they said, and that was a sign. They realized that was the time. And the last thing for be fast, the T is the time. It's time to call 911. Don't goof around about this, because if you have a stroke and they get to it, you can be in much better shape than if they don't.
And you're supposed to take aspirin if you can't chew it.
Yeah, a baby, any kind of and make them shove it down their throat or whatever. In fact, when I first had my heart attack, they made me carry nitroglycerin pills. Mm-hmm. I haven't done that in a long time.
My dad had to have that.
Yeah. Anyway, just for that's what a TIA is. Also, did you hear about this case of the woman? By the way, coming up after 5, holy crap at sports, and a replay of the Kimmers. Well, maybe they want to do it again. We'll see the theater thing. We'll find out.
Well, the reviews.
I don't know.
Over the top.
did Veronica contact you with your? She learned a lot about you in the Rainy Day Theater, there, Flounder. we did kind of a past example
TMI.
of Flounder's former girlfriends. There,
Heck with TIA, it's TMI.
TMI for sure. A woman in Indiana named Ashley Summers, 35 years old, was on the 4th of July long weekend with her friends and family. On the last day of her trip, she felt lighthearted, had a headache, and was dehydrated. And they said she kept drinking water. She could not stop her thirst. She drank the equivalent of 4 16-ounce bottles in about 20 minutes. And she felt like she couldn't get enough water. They left the sandbar. They were out in the water. They got to the dock, 20-minute boat ride. She drank 4 huge bottles of water. And unfortunately, she got lightheaded, then had symptoms of a headache, went into her garage when they got home, and some bad brain swelling and died.
I'm laughing because the first time you said she was lighthearted.
Sorry, lightheaded. A lighthearted woman died from the water. Anyway, I've lost it. Anyway, doctors diagnosed her with water toxicity called hyponatremia, which is a result of there being too much water but not enough sodium.
You can die from too much water.
Too much drinking, too much water in too soon a time, and her brain swelled, and she's dead at 35. Drinking too much water in one short period of time. That's word to the wise. And TIA, a little medical update for you. Anyway, we got extra stuff coming up. 5 o'clock with a Kimmer, Pete, Flounder, and New Nick on 106.3 or something. There you go. Let's get it together, ladies. Left shoulder, right a blank. Ready on the dog. Target. Fire, 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 right here, little road guards out. Look out. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer 503 with Pete Davis and Flounder and new Nick the intern's back there. Billions of things coming up here. First feedback from our recent. I wanted to bring the little people closer together with some good nutrition advice or some medical tips and so forth. So we talked a little bit about stroke issues, how you can tell whether someone's having a stroke, and some medical things. We already have some feedback from our fans in the audience who are, I guess, saluting the Kimmer for trying to show the little people that we're here for them at all times to make sure they're healthier and happier as they go about their day.
Theater critic Sophia says, if speaking gibberish is a sign of a stroke, hope there's a paramedic in the studio.
Well, now, wait a minute. That's a guy. I swear that's a guy. Anyway, here's the number, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. We love phone calls. A couple of things. We got a billion things going on here, and you'll hear some... by the way, I'm just looking at the video. Donald Trump has entered a not guilty plea, and he's going home again. And they showed his lawyer, this woman, I'm telling you, she looks like a playmate. She looks like a Barbie doll. She shows up wearing a purple dress, and her boobs are all over the place. They're yearning to be free. I mean, I'm serious, and they look real as the day is long, too, by the way. I mean, this is a pretty impressive woman. She's a dish. She's a dish.
She is good looking.
What?
Trump's about to make comment. Do you guys want to take it live?
Take it live. Here it goes live. Trump right now at the airport.
Washington, D.C. and seeing the filth and the decay and all of the broken buildings and walls and the graffiti. This is not the place that I left. It's a very sad thing to see it. When you look at what's happening, this is a persecution of a political opponent. This was never supposed to happen in America. This is the persecution of the person that's leading by very, very substantial numbers in the Republican primary and leading Biden by a lot. So if you can't beat him, you persecute him or you prosecute him. We can't let this happen in America. Thank you very much.
Do you want these trials?
It was at Reagan National Airport in Arlington, Virginia. And I love it. I love it.
Even his umbrella says Trump on it.
And in fact, wouldn't you like to have your own plane with your name on it?
I would love that.
Notice how easy he goes up those flight of stairs?
Yeah. I mean...
No problems.
I mean, think about it. And again, let's remember, it took Jack Smith 3 years, supposedly, to gather the evidence for this case. And he wants now a speedy trial. So he timed it. They slow-jacked it so it would happen during the election season. There's going to be number 4. In fact, I don't know whether you saw it, but former DeKalb DA Danny Porter... Gwinnett County. Former Gwinnett County DA Danny Porter was bragging. He says, oh boy, the one case you ought to be scared of is the one in Fulton County. That's what Donald Trump ought to be scared of because he can't pardon his way out of it or get somebody else to pardon his way out of it. Hey, screw you, buddy. My God. I mean, I saw you're really hoping for that, are you, Danny? The good thing you're not a biased, interlocutor of some kind on the legal business anymore. Anything, my God. The state crimes in Fulton County, the governor can't pardon somebody. It has to go to a bureau. For a pardon, it's got to be first in Georgia. If you want to get a pardon, you have to first complete all prison sentences of at least 5 years before you apply. And then have no pending charges anyway. So if Trump gets arrested on a state charge, there's no way he'll be pardoned, probably. But again, they're anything they can do. Again, our chicken-livered Fanny district attorney is afraid that 10,000 people are going to be slaughtered as white men, come flowing into the city to complain about Donald Trump being arrested and so forth. And then you get the sheriff, the Fulton County sheriff is now bragging about how he's getting a mugshot. It's up to me. Unless somebody tells me, I love that he put this. He said, unless somebody tells me otherwise, it's a standard thing. If Donald Trump comes in here, he's getting a mugshot.
That's what he's worried about, with Fulton County crumbling before our eyes.
Good to see your priorities are in place.
If I lived in Fulton County and that's what my sheriff was worried about, I'm going to get him a mugshot.
He was smirking and bragging about it. We'll do it my way, unless somebody tells me different. But that's what we do here. He's getting a mugshot. Yeah, he's getting a mugshot. He looked all real proud of that. But, I mean, my God, you ought to be offended that they're using the law to persecute a political opponent. This has never happened in America.
It's political time to take down a political opponent.
This has never happened.
Nope.
It couldn't happen.
Back when adults were in charge, no. But we have one party in charge now, the Democrats, and they're Marxists.
And it happened because when Donald Trump came down that escalator, the media said, oh, my God, we can't have this guy become president. And the Department of Justice said, oh, well, we're going to fix this. And they started the FBI. Well, we're going to find a way to block him. Remember? They said, we'll find a way to make sure it doesn't happen.
What did Pelosi say for election? She wasn't worried about the election. We have contingency plans, she said.
That's right. We have a backup plan.
Yeah, the fix was in.
It's never happened in America.
We have to pass the bill to see what's in it.
Yeah. They're bragging about it.
And I said it the other day on my podcast. I say it again. The most corrupt country in the world right now, government-wise, is not Russia or China or Colombia or anybody else. The United States federal empire is the most corrupt entity on the face of the earth right now.
The most politically corrupt country, without question. Maybe not the most violently corrupt for gang but the most politically corrupt country in the world.
The last 4 or 5 years, we said, well, it's not going to get any worse. This is as bad as it's going to get. And every time we turn around, something worse happens. Yeah. And it's just going to keep going. They're pushing the envelope because nobody has told them to stop, or no one has made them stop yet. And they're not going to stop.
Yeah. In fact, this morning, I came into work today for Pete. I brought in our New Yorker magazine. I subscribed to it back when our podcast days. And in this issue, sometimes it's a liberal rag, but once in a while there's a really interesting issue, an article in it. And this particular issue this week, they talk about Haiti. In fact, Haiti's now making national news. We see it here every once in a while. In Haiti, it's gotten so bad. There's no police protection. There's no government protection. And again, here in America, we now have such a lopsided party that you can't trust. All these major cities and the most beautiful cities in America are now disasters because of lack of police protection, defunding the police. The liberals are in charge of letting people all become victims and getting away with all this stuff. In Haiti now, if you get in your car to drive anywhere in Haiti other than your house, you're going to get stopped by gang members who will demand a toll. And frequently they will just take someone out of your car and hold you hostage until your family pays them ransom. Every community has its own gangbangers in control of the territory. And the story in Haiti now this week is that finally the community is saying, that's it. And now every neighborhood has their own vigilante squad. They're looking for the gangbangers. They're setting up ambushes. And when they get the gangbangers, they slaughter them, they chop them up, they set them on fire as warnings to the other gangbangers. I mean, I'm sorry, when you read the article, it's unbelievable.
I cannot wait.
It's just bloodshed. You got to protect yourself because there's no help coming, baby. I don't feel protected by my government. If the FBI with that Chrissy the Cossack traitor, the Russian double agent, and knocks on my door with his freaking agents, gee, can we come in and talk to you? The answer is no. Go to hell. Yes. And I love the FBI. I was in the FBI agents that I know, but not the top echelon. That's ruined. It's over. No, you're not coming in. And if you do, there's going to be a fight. And you better throw a freaking stun grenade. I'm serious. I'm not. No, you're not. No, you're not. I do not trust my government. I never thought I'd say that. I know. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Hell, I'm a Marine. I fought for my government. But I don't trust him anymore. And by the way, speaking of fighting back, wait to hear what they did on a Delta flight. And also some New York City pedestrians when the guy plowed into the crowd. And CNN, I love it. And even CNN is now saying, oh my God, here we go again. A CNN crew was in San Francisco, and for the third time when they parked their car, and there's nothing visible, nothing on the dashboard, nothing on the seats, nothing on the floorboard, nothing on the back seat. And for the third time, when they came back 5 minutes after they left, the car was broken into, windshield smashed smash and ransacked for nothing. Third time for the CNN news crew in San Francisco. Why would you want to live in any of those cities run by Democrats anymore if you can get by the sidewalk for all the tents?
Well, there's a funny, real quick before we go to break, there was a tweet I sent you guys last night, and it said, George Gascon's L.A. In Venice, don't walk your dog. In Beverly Hills, don't wear jewelry or clothes. Or watches, I'm sorry. In Watts, avoid large gatherings. In Santa Monica, don't own a business. In L.A., don't use the metro.
And the link is what again, Flounder? George Soros.
No, George Gascon. He's the district attorney for L.A.
Yeah, well, again, the George Soros liberal link,
Yes.
and Gascon was the guy who didn't he just get outed? I think he de-elected or something. San Francisco, I think, where Fortnum, one of them just got bunched out of office.
The link is when you connect two things together.
Never mind that now. Hey, what's the code? Well, it's a series of numbers. You bastard. 514. Holy crap, it sports is... Now, look out. I can't. Oh, there we go.
Typeboard.
520. Look out. Birthday list. Tom Brady's 46 today. And Ryan Lochte, the peeing swimmer guy, is 39. And now, holy crap, it's Sports and P. Davis. I'm sorry, I got missed.
Well, this just came over. The Braves tweeted out, congratulations to our 2023 Heart and Hustle Award winner, Austin Riley, the Mississippi Masher.
Outstanding. Good for him.
It's given to every team one player, a current player, by the Alumni Association. Not only excels on the field, but also embodies the values, spirits, and traditions of baseball.
Outstanding.
Excellent. He does a lot of good work.
Austin Riley.
That's good.
Very well done.
Braves are off today after taking 2 out of 3 at home against the Angels. Max Fried will be on the mound, supposedly, in Wrigley Field tomorrow afternoon.
Hopefully.
All 3 weekend games are day affairs.
Yeah.
All right, there. I hope they stay back in the hotel before it gets dark because it's Chicago.
Yeah, it's Chicago, yeah. Now, you know, when Harry Carey was around and they were doing all this stuff, it was nightlife. Like, I mean, and again, the year of '84 was at every home game for the Cubs. And the nightlife was Harry. It was just, everybody had a ball. It was never danger. No problems. Not anymore.
Shame their season ended so abruptly there in San Diego.
Yeah, I remember. But Leon Durham with the Gatorade glove.
By the way, they're day games, quickies, nooners, whatever you want to call
I am the only one of the Muggers who hit a home run in Wrigley Field. Well, I did, and I'd like to talk about it.
I will come over there
I was wearing a suit and wingtips.
In the eye.
Thank you.
The Cubs are red hot at the plate. Chicago Club 16 hits and 5 homers in a 16-6 victory over the Reds last night, giving them 36 runs in their last 2 games. The franchise's most over that span in a single season since 1897 when they were known as
the Red Legs.
The Colts.
Chicago
Colts. According to the Elias Sports Bureau, Matt Olson and Austin Riley now have the franchise record for most back-to-back homers in a season by teammates. Chipper Jones and Brett Boone set the previous record 5 times. They did it in 1999.
Brett Boone?
Remember Brett Boone, the second baseman?
I don't.
Little power he had.
Oh, my.
Yeah, that was the era of Marcus Giles and things like that.
Well, was Lemmer playing?
Lemmer was gone by then.
Was he gone by then?
He was gone by.
Really?
Yeah, he was gone. Yeah.
That's not true.
Yeah, it was true.
I remember talking to him when we were working together in 1991, 92.
1999, he was no longer the Braves' second baseman.
I thought you said 91.
No, I said 99.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, that makes sense then. No, I know that. I knew that. Okay, sorry. I don't remember.
You're so pretty. You're so pretty.
It's so sweet.
On this date in 1990, the Braves trade Dale Murphy and Tommy Green to the Phillies for Jeff Parrott, Jim Thatcher, and Victor Rosario.
I remember that.
Holy cow. He was hitting .232, 17 homers. But why did they do it? Why did they trade him? First of all, he wanted to be traded at that point. He wanted a little change.
Was this a thing with his family or something from school?
It opened up a space for someone else to play right field.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right, hold on a second. What year are we talking about?
1990.
Was that?
Say it.
I can see. I can't do the name.
He hit a home run to win the World Series in Game 6 of '95.
Home. Sid Brady. No, it wasn't Sid Brady.
Right fielder.
No, I know. I can't.
Let me just tell everybody. David Justice.
David Justice. I was going to say, we married to Halle Berry, and then she didn't know he was a baseball player, and I had everything but the name. I'm sorry. I just
knew. Meanwhile, all is not well in Yankees land. Right-hander Domingo Germán has been placed on the restricted list, will not pitch again this season.
Ooh.
He's going to enter treatment for alcohol abuse.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, not the first time this has been a problem for him, and it's kind of weird. The GM, Brian Cashman, was asked, well, why didn't you trade for more pitching before the deadline Tuesday? He goes, well, we didn't know about this.
Wait a minute.
You had to have something.
He's an alcoholic and so bad they have to put him in rehab and nobody knew it?
Yeah, he's 30 years old. He was suspended in May for failing a substance check. He also, by the way, threw a perfect game this year.
Well, now there you go. Well, who was it who was drunk? Was it Half Moon Johnson or somebody was high every time he went out there?
Half Moon Johnson. That's my new nom de guerre when I check into a hotel. Right there with Claude Justeau. Half Moon Johnson. That's right there.
Ferlin Jenkins or
Moonlight Graham. What the hell are you trying to say?
I don't know. Furlan Jenkins or
you're
Furlan
thinking about
Husky.
Doc Ellis, who had LSD.
High all the time. He'd see 3 batters and throw to the middle one. Or 3 gloves on the plate or something.
By the way, this doesn't surprise me. He threw a perfect game when he was drunk, allegedly.
Yeah.
Some of the most impressive feats I've ever accomplished occurred when I was drunk.
That was perfect, honey.
That's what she said.
Yeah, for you.
Speaking of which, Heisman Trophy winner Johnny Manziel is opening up a saloon called John Manziel's Money Bar right next to the Texas A&M campus.
Oh my God,
that's a perfect
whatever.
place.
You can't play professional sports for money anymore.
Yeah. The Onion has a nice story here.
I didn't know.
In response to concerns about whether his off-field behavior would risk further derailing his career, Cleveland Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson told reporters, "I've learned from my mistake of using my own name at massage parlors. To the Browns community, my coaches and teammates, I take full responsibility for not using a pseudonym." He explained that in the future he would never need to settle another lawsuit with a massage therapist accusing him of sexual misconduct because they wouldn't be able to track him down. "I understand now I never should have done something like show up and say, 'Hey, my name is Deshaun Watson and I'm here for my appointment.' The Browns and NFL expect me to be better than that and come up with an alias. I'm going to use a name like Darryl Whitcomb or Derek Worth." Meanwhile, Cleveland police are reportedly investigating a massage parlor's sexual harassment complaint against a customer named Weeshawn Dotson.
Better than Ron Mexico.
Yeah, Ron Mexico. Crocodile 1, Costa Rica nothing.
Oh, the girls' soccer team.
No, it's the men's this time.
The
Costa Rican soccer player tragically has died after being devoured by a crocodile.
What?
While taking a dip in a river to cool off. Well, don't crocodiles take dips in the river all the time to cool
they're
off?
pretty much always in the cooling off river.
Jesus Alberto Lopez Ortiz, nicknamed Chucho, died after he was mercilessly, according to them, attacked by the reptile July 29th. He was cooling off in a river in Costa Rica. Horrific images, which you could watch.
Oh, they show
the
it?
film is there. Show the father of 2 fighting for his life as he is carried away by the animal in its jaws.
So luckily the guy was holding onto his phone to make sure he got the picture, as opposed to using his arm to try to pull. No, I wouldn't want to.
Friends had to chase the crocodile, who goes by the name of Lyle.
Lyle the croc.
Lyle
the crocodile.
In a canoe to get the body back.
We want that. Man.
Well, he wasn't able to use his hands to fight him off.
No, he was a
soccer player. Shaquille O'Neal has revealed
that would have been a flag if he had used his hands to.
They don't throw flags in soccer.
They don't. They hold the card,
the red card.
That silly card.
The card.
Pull it out of their pants or something. Never understood that. Oh, I forgot the card.
I like how they hold it up to it.
I'm holding.
Shaquille O'Neal has revealed that he orders fries, a double cheeseburger, 10 nuggets, and a Diet Coke when he goes to McDonald's.
Well,
because he's on a diet.
Don't want to gain any weight,
He's on a diet. And he always tips the McDonald's worker. How much do you think he tips the worker?
Honestly, probably $50.
$50?
I bet he's got a 50. And I bet he's got 10 50s in his pocket at all times.
I didn't mean to wake you up. How much does Shaquille tip the McDonald's worker when he brings him his food?
I'd say a couple $100 to $250.
Exactly, $200.
Are you serious?
Every time.
Wow.
That's pretty nice.
Well, I would too if I had $45 million in my pocket.
All right. Lionel Messi is tearing up the MLS for Inter Miami. Seems he can score at will. He's 36 and he's better than everybody out there. After he scores, he's been making some weird hand gestures. Turns out he's mimicking things. Here's what he does. Flounder, this is what he does. He does this.
Like throwing a Frisbee and bringing it back?
What is he doing? I'm holding my hand out.
Grabbing and taking something.
Thor's Uru Hammer Mjolnir. He's pretending he's Thor catching his hammer.
Oh, my God.
Oh, he's that good.
And then he did this. He crossed his hands over his chest. What's that? I think Nick knows what it's doing.
It's what?
Is that the Wakanda?
Wakanda Forever. He's doing the Black Panther thing.
Oh, my God.
So he's an Avengers fan.
Though it turns out Adidas, who sponsors him, has a soccer ball out now. It's got Marvel Comics all over it.
Oh, with those
retails
pictures
for $170.
And I bet it has those poses on it, does it? Or his finger Oh, my
Well,
God.
his contract, he gets the percentage of Adidas sales and Apple. Like that's been part of them coming over here. That's He's going to be killing it.
You got to give him credit. I mean, he's almost 40 years old, and he's the best. I guess he's still
36.
best in the world. Well, it's almost 40.
He's not the best anymore, but he's better than anybody else in MLS.
Soccer players are 22, 24, stuff like that.
Exposing
17, 18 now.
He's exposing how much more this league has to go before they're close. Women's World Cup scores. The Moroccan Moles shut out the cocaine-cutting cuties of Colombia 1-0. And the South Korean kimchi caterers tied the fearsome Frauleins of Germany, eliminating the Krauts from the tournament. They're gone. The Germans are gone.
I buy from you. The Germans are out. And again, isn't it great that they played 90 minutes to a scoreless tie to make sure who's going into the final championship? Nobody scored, and you're going to be the winner. Yes, you go to the final because nobody scored, and now you'll be rewarded with the final team. Oh, my God.
That's sport.
5:30. Holy crap. We got more coming up, too. More stuff, actual stuff.
You're so...
We just thought about that. We haven't done an AI story today, Skynet update, but that really is amazing. A guy was had no sensation, crippled in his limbs, and AI can tell when he wants to move his arm and tells the arm to move. It's a step above the latest mechanical electrical thing, and it's AI doing it.
They put it in his head?
I guess, yeah, like an implant of some kind, and when he gets the urge, the AI interprets it and makes the arm move.
Cyborg.
And he can use his fingers.
That's a cyborg.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well,
I got no problem with it.
It's a $6 million man.
No, good.
It's exactly that's how we're going to live, for 200 years. Mostly human, but, plus, by the way, if you have an AI thing in your head, if you start having kidney problems, it can say, we got to take care of this little issue here. I mean,
they have nanobots that'll release into your body to do it, to fix it.
Well, it's like the movies where they miniaturize the people who went into the bloodstream. Remember that movie?
Fantastic Voyage with Raquel Welch. Of course I remember it.
Raquel. Sorry. Well, I've just blown the whole Jimi Hendrix Experience.
Imagine this.
Thing
Nanobots can go in and eat your kidney stones.
Well, there you are. It's here. It's coming.
I still have a gallbladder.
We're not far away. 1967, the Jimi Hendrix Experience played the first of 5 nights at the Salvation Club in New York City. Typical set included Foxy Lady, Hey Joe, The Wind Cries Mary, The Burning of the Midnight Amp, and Purple Haze. 1967, Jimi Hendrix. Okay. Let's see. This I thought was amusing. A little tidbit in the news. And we got a couple of phone calls. We got Alan and Liberal Joe using his actual name today, I think. Check this out. I thought this was amazing. Now, you would think, I guess because they're near Washington, maybe I shouldn't be so surprised. But in the state of Maryland, has just allowed cannabis for recreational sales in the state of Maryland, okay? After 1 month. 1 month of legalized recreational dope smoking in Maryland. 1 month, just about $90 million they fought in Maryland. $90 million in 1 month at the pot stores in Maryland. The first month.
Jeez.
Holy cow.
Come on, Georgia.
Yeah, it's here. And again, if they legalize dope in Georgia recreation stuff, I'll smoke it. You won't because you don't smoke. No. Don't you smoke like 1 cigarette a year or something?
No.
I thought you
cigar maybe.
Okay. Yeah. And now, Flounder, you're not a smoker, but would you? Actually, now you smoke 1 cigarette a year, don't you? Didn't I see you was smoking it? No,
not a nicotine smoker. No, sir.
Anyway, well, if they legalize marijuana, you know what's going to. I mean, everybody's smoking.
I mean, just look at the revenue it would generate for the state.
Yeah, but we're already dumb enough, don't you think?
Well, the problem is,
unfortunately, you're going to have that ratio where you're going to have a good portion of people.
We're dumb and lazy enough, don't you think?
That's the younger generation.
Yeah, but it would lead to all kinds of other, and my problem, and again, we really haven't talked about this, but here's my problem with legalizing marijuana. If you smoke marijuana on a Tuesday afternoon, or a Tuesday night, you get home from work, you smoke marijuana Tuesday night watching a movie, you go to bed, the next day you wake up and you get in a car wreck, they give you a drug test, there's marijuana in your system, you're going to get a DUI.
Yeah.
And the problem is they can't measure. They can measure alcohol by weight and metabolism, stuff like that. But they can't measure marijuana because it's in there for 30 days.
They'll get some kind of technology.
There's got to be, but my weight, my muscle mass, my metabolism is different from yours and yours and yours.
You know why they won't? It's revenue.
That's right. You're going to get screwed. They're not going to come up with a system. They don't want to measure it.
No.
They want to say, you've measured. He's got marijuana. Bing, bang, pow. That's another $5,000. You're going to need a lawyer. That's another $10,000. Probation. Oh my God, that's the danger with legalizing marijuana. And even if you're not at fault, it doesn't matter. Or what if somebody dives, runs out between cars in the middle of an intersection and you hit them? Not even your fault. If you got dope in your system, you're going to prison for 8 years. Even if it wasn't your fault.
What if they have dope?
Well, you were impaired.
What if they have dope in their system?
You have dope in yours. They'll blame him as being stupid, but they'll blame you because you were high when you got, and you weren't high. You just had it from, 2 weeks ago.
How do we know that?
I'm telling you, that'd be the danger. I'd be very hard pressed to.
It's a danger for those who do it.
That's right. Exactly. Oh, by the way, are we doing a repeat of our certain theatrical thing?
Oh, are we? I thought we had just about run out of time.
Well, all right.
No, we can do it. We got a phone call here.
Oh, that's right. Let's get to it. We have 2 phone calls. Alan, I think, is on. Alan is on 1063. Hello, Alan. You're on finally, you're going to be soon. You'll be on the radio, Alan. Thanks for calling. You're on the air. What's going on, man?
Hey, Cameron. Another great show there. Listen, I guess I'm going to have to hang on for the wisdom of Liberal Joe. Oh, my God. So I hope he's not still wearing pajamas today. Anyway, The reason I'm calling, I thought I heard you say that our wonderful sheriff here in Fulton County, unfortunately the county in which I reside,
me too.
Wants to get mug shots of Donald Trump.
He's definitely determined to get a mugshot. Yeah.
I guess he'll do anything to detract from the bedbug roach-infested jails in Fulton County, and the new one that they're wanting to build that under their management will be in the same condition in just a few years.
Yeah. Not very impressive with Fulton County in almost any category of county services. If you compare Fulton to many others around the state of Georgia, you'll find that Fulton doesn't rank very high.
No, I absolutely agree with that. Living here, I can tell you it's a terrible place. I'll be glad when I retire because I'll be getting the heck out of here. Great show, Kimmer.
Thanks, Alan.
Enjoy your Mustang. I got a pair of them myself.
Outstanding. Well, hoorah, my friend. Appreciate it. And now Liberal Joe is on the radio here. Liberal Joe, welcome aboard. How's it going? Happy Thursday to you, sir.
Hey, happy Thursday to you. I am not a liberal at all, my friend.
It's a different Joe. All right. Sorry.
That's Nick's fault.
I sandbagged the Kimmer. I'm sorry, you're on the radio, Joe. What's up, man? Welcome.
Hey, man. Great show, dude. I've been listening to you since you were on GST back in the day. And but anyway, look.
Yeah.
I think these idiots, whatever you want to call them, for bringing all this Trump, trying to get Trump in prison.
Yeah, for the rest of his life. You want him to die in prison.
Well, look. I think they're handing us a great gift if they mugshot Trump, because then we can take that mugshot and we can put it side by side to another political distance, maybe Nelson Mandela. You know, I mean, you could put them side by side comparisons and say, look, the political prisoners.
Persecuted by their
whole industry. I mean, the T-shirt industry is going to go nuts.
I'd buy it. Yeah, we'll make them. We'll make them. Absolutely. Joe, I appreciate it. Again, sorry, but you thought that was Liberal Joe, and of course it wasn't. Shall we do? We have 5 minutes left. Actually, do we have 5 minutes left? Or we'll be late for the break. Is it okay? And now, whether you like it or not, ladies and gentlemen.
So you really want to do this?
I guess.
Okay, I'm going to hit play. Once I hit play, you can't go back.
I got excited last night. I was excited about this, and it had to happen because it came to me like a dream out of the blue on my own initiative right here.
We should.
Ready? Of the Kimmer's Rainy Day Theater Playhouse, where we endeavor to bring a ray of sunshine into the otherwise dreary existence of you, the little people. It's a gift from our hearts, the very soul of our thespian team. Today, you are part of history, and this live performance is about to draw you into the dirty underbelly of modern-day socialist America. Today's episode, I'll teach you to drive my Corvette with one of your sluts. The setting, a private banquet hall behind the Iron Curtain. We see fat commie cats with giant cigars and shifters and snifters of fine brandy. While Hunter Biden, the host, receives a lap dance from a 14-year-old tranny runaway from Chechnya, he snorts a line of coke from her backside and says, "Hey, let's call Dad." And today, we reveal for the first time the Kimmer's hidden secret microphone, picking up the stunning admission as Vice President White Trash does his corn pop tough guy act.
Put them on the phone. I want to talk about the weather.
You want to talk about the weather?
Yeah, whether they got our F money or not.
And
wait a minute.
Scene.
That sounds familiar.
Hold on.
I bolted on a bed. It was like, I said, and again, in case of the president, and I mean, the whole issue of the hidden stuff and how they got caught with the transcript. I mean, and it was unbelievable. I bolted on it and I thought, holy cow.
Bad text theater here.
What?
That's bad text theater.
Sounds very familiar.
Wait, what now?
What? Plagiarizing son of a...
Wait, what are you talking about?
We just did this yesterday. This is the same bad text theater joke we did yesterday.
Wait a minute. That can't be right. I think you don't remember. Did you? I'll bet the morning show called you guys and said, make sure you sandbag the Kimmer's performance on the Rainy Day Theater Playhouse and pretend that you did that you're copying like they're claiming I'm doing with the morning show every day.
Yeah, because we do what they say.
Oh my God.
We're not the rhino.
Well, All right, we've had a live performance setback. I will, however, continue because the show must go on. And now here we are. Alas, while we bask in your praise, we must remember to thank those who made this wonderful experience possible. Like the man who says we should all start off with a morning tug. He invented a new word. Plagiarism. He tried to help an old lady check her balance at the ATM once by pushing her over. He says he'd love to have a stepson so he doesn't have to beat his own kids. The morning tugster. And how can we ever truly appreciate the sacrifice of the hardy little fellow who once had a girlfriend who said she wanted him to tease her. So he said, "Okay, fatty." He found the best way for white guys to satisfy their wives is to hire a pool boy. He tried to show off on Jeopardy once by guessing that in Europe, Miley Cyrus is really called Kilometer E. Cyrus. He claims the video he bragged about of him giving a martial arts demonstration was actually he walked into a spider web. He found out the only thing worse than dating a single mom is dating a single mom who won't put out. He found out that women are like blackjack. You aim for 21, but he keeps hitting on 14. The Rhino, ladies and gentlemen.
God, that was a low blow.
And now, about our newly lovesick boy toy with his life's harmonica, Miss Veronica. The man who said a lot of things changed when he thought his old girlfriend got pregnant. His name changed, his phone changed, his address changed. Once he was at a girlfriend's house when she said, "Daddy, please pass the salt," and you both reached for it. He went on a date once with a girl who had a lazy eye, but he dumped her because she was seeing somebody else. He asked one girlfriend, "Hey, do you think my salary is sufficient for you?" She said, "Sure for me, but what are you going to live on?" He found out the hard way when his girlfriend said he can make love anywhere he wants. That did not include her little sister. But at least he's happy knowing his girlfriend now is always happy and smiling whenever they make love, no matter what she's reading. Yes, the mechanical mangler, Flounder, ladies and gentlemen. And now, as our blood pressure and our moral code begin to decline, we await the Barefoot Dance Division of the Kimmer's after-party review of beauties. We pause for a brief moment, basking in your adulation, and offering you, again one day soon, a dream and a wish on the wings of an angel, gently wiping away the pathetic drudgery of everyday life for you, the little people, with grace and love from the Kimmer's Rainy Day Theater Playhouse.
Just one off.
Dying. Dive.
Breaking news. According to Colin Rugg, Joe Rogan says United States has become a banana republic. He's said this.
You've been saying that for we all have. Yeah.
After Trump's indictment today, the third one, he says election fraud did take place, especially in the 2022 Arizona election.
That's right.
And he says, quote, that Trump, he's being targeted. These are the actions of a banana republic. You take your political rival and you arrest him, and specifically, you charge him with things that you are effing guilty of.
You know what's going to happen if they convict Donald Trump and sentence him to prison for the rest of his life?
We're going to go nuts.
There's going to be a thing.
And there should be.
And they're asking for it. And by the way, I'm not calling for a revolution or a riot or violence of any kind. Okay? I'm not calling for it. But if it's on, I'm in.
We can peacefully protest on the streets.
I'll peacefully protest the hell out of this area.
And we can shut this economy down.
We can do a lot of things, and I'm in. And I got plenty for everybody, too. I got a whole closet full of... Anyway, 548.
Water balloons.
Yeah, protest signs. Yeah, that's it. Pickets, yeah. Stones. The Stones. That was 1966. The Rolling Stones started 9 days of recording for their album in Los Angeles, RCA. Tracks included Have You Seen Your Mother, Baby, Standing in the Shadow, Let's Spend the Night Together.
Wait.
What?
It's Have You Seen Your Mother, Standing in the Shadows, Baby.
That's one tune?
Yeah.
Have you seen your mother, baby, standing in the shadows? One song?
Yeah, it's not I've seen your mother, baby,
well, it's got commas in there. Well, I've never heard of such a thing. It's got commas. Have you seen your mother, comma,
play the song.
Baby, comma, standing in the shadow, question mark. Anyway, in this one, let's spend the night together. And by the way, it wasn't on the Dick, not Ed Sullivan show when he said you can't say spend the night together, you spend time together, and they sang spend the night together anyway. And he said you're not coming back on the show and banned them, but they did come back because they were so big. He said, well, okay, we'll have you back. But again, that's what it used to be. Hell, back in those days, on the Dick Van Dyke show, the rule was that no couples were ever allowed to be shown in the same bed. They had separate beds, and not only that, you had to have 1 foot on the floor.
Yeah, 1 foot on the floor.
On the TV shows.
It's hard to sleep that way.
Hard to sleep that way. Anyway, that was the Stones, and they had a thing, we did a thing. Okay, now, God, we're almost out of time. I can't believe it. This was the day in 1977 the CIA was caught running a secret brainwashing and mind control program at McGill University in Montreal. The patients were damaged for life after methods of so-called isolation and psychic driving. The CIA did the same thing, brainwashing studies at Cornell, Memorial Hospital in Providence, Rhode Island, and LSD studies on inmates at the Atlanta Federal Penitentiary. And one more quick legal thing. 1982, remember this case, and I couldn't believe it at the time. Famous Supreme Court case in Georgia. A Georgia man named Michael Hardwick was having sex with another man in his own bedroom, but a cop spotted him, arrested him, and the Supreme Court ruled 5-4 that states do have the right to outlaw certain kinds of sex acts.
Hey, what's all this then?
Yeah, well, obviously states started changing their laws so you could do whatever you wanted to, but the Supreme Court said the state has a right to outlaw what you can do.
That's
very
unless you're hurting something or somebody who does not want to be
ridiculous.
hurt.
We don't. Yeah, these days it's a silly thing. That would never happen today. Unless you were out to get.
Well, they're trying to change it so you can do anything to a child.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. Now it's and everything's okay, and now they're going to try to go down one level, and now all of a sudden trainees are a whole separate identity of protection spirit too. By the way, we just saw something. There's a podcast or an interview with President Pants on Fire, the white trash of America, where he says, he's talking about his grandkids. They're now doing more talking about. All of a sudden, he now admits he has 7 grandkids, and he says, they all call me Pop. They all call me Pop. Well, I bet that little girl Navy never called you Pop, the 4-year-old out-of-wedlock child that your son knocked up the stripper with. But again, for the record, the only reason he's ever come forward now publicly acknowledging that he has a 7th grandchild was because of Maureen Dowd. And it was Maureen Dowd who had her article at the New York Times, and it said, Mr. President, she said, Mr. President, and the weight on him, it's 7 grandkids, Mr. President, it's 7 grandkids. You can't defend Hunter on all his other messes and draw the line at accepting 1 little girl. Joe Biden's mantra has always been, the absolute most important thing is your family, the heart of his political narrative. Empathy, born of family tragedies, has been his stock and trade, callously scarring Navy's life just as it gets started, undercuts it all. Maureen Dowd, and it embarrassed him so much that he said, in fact, his staff said, don't ever mention her, don't ever mention her. Remember that? His political staff said, never talk about her.
He told his staff not to.
And they said, you're doing the right thing. We can't have nobody, and the whole staff said, nobody mention her. Not just the president, nobody. And then Maureen Dowd came out with that article, and he said, crap, we're screwed. You got to acknowledge her now. But that's the kind of duplicity the scumbag criminal has for us as Americans. Oh, my God. Can we do a comedy? Let's do a minute comedy bit. We got one left, I think, just for until we have to go.
This is our boy, Nate Bargatze.
Oh, I love Nate.
She's doing Common Core math. She brought home new math. That's what they want us to do. I don't even know what this math is. And they're like, here's a new one. You're like, oh, great. I get to watch a 40-minute YouTube video on Common Core math. And it's not like the old math was doing bad. It's doing great. It's not like we're getting incorrect change everywhere. And we're just sitting there like this stupid old math. I wish new math would come along. If you don't know Common Core math, it's just basically a long way to get to the same answer. It's like how can we use the entire sheet of paper for this math problem? And even when you break it down, you see old math sneak in there. I mean, you're like, that was old math right there. Just do that at the beginning, and we won't even have to be in this. I told my wife, it's a long way to get to the same thing. It would be if you came to my house and you knocked on the front door and you're like, can I come in? And I was like, could you walk around and come in through the back door? And you would be like, does the front door not work? And he's like, it works. It works fine. I use it. Most people still use it. But the new way is to go jump the fence, come in the back, and then meet me back here.
He's Nick Bergazzi. He's a very funny guy, and he does above board humor, a lot about his wife, and he's a very unusual, amusing guy. All right, don't forget. Thank you all. God bless America. We're off for a few days. Shannon Burke joins us tomorrow and a few days next week. You won't be able to see him on YouTube, but in fact, we're going to talk with him on his podcast or on his show. On your show at 6 o'clock, and Pete and I are going to join him. Pete's on every Thursday night with him, and they can get it. Shannon Burke Show. Just Google Shannon Burke Show.
Yeah, Florida Man Radio.
Florida Man Radio, and he'll be filling in for it. Anyway, God bless you. Semper Fi. I got to go. You're killing me. Hoorah! Look out!
Thank you.